Hello everybody, this is Bryan. We had some audio issues during my Metroid Dread discussion. It's very unfortunate. We have an audio backup, but the quality is a bit lower than normal, unfortunately. But hey, you get to hear it at least.
So be grateful.
Yeah, fuck it. Here's the news.
Niamh, I'm going to show you a picture. Dear listener, I will publish this picture online on social media.
I didn't agree to that.
I will crop it so that there's less stuff giving away about your personal life. It's specifically zooming in on one part of that picture.
Okay.
I'm not going to put any... this time there will be...
Why do I show you anything? Why do I give anything up to you?
Okay, this time around the image will have context. It will have a description and you will understand what you're looking at. This is John's chair. This is the chair he sits on when he edits his videos for his YouTube channel. How long have you had this chair, John?
I don't know, like a year and a half?
A year and a half. Niamh, keep that in mind.
God.
This is an 18-month-old chair.
Okay. What the fuck? What the hell do you do to it?
Nothing consciously, but when I sit down, Niamh, and understand I'm editing videos, and sometimes that gets rather tense. And so
you grinding your balls
my
off the
lower
chair?
my lower parts, Niamh, not my balls, they don't work like that. They kind of go like this.
His big fat boy bottom.
So you're clenching?
Yeah, and I have quite strong thigh and buttock muscles.
Mamma mia!
You're grinding your asshole on the chair. Is that what you're trying
I'm
to
not
say?
grinding my asshole. It never gets close to my asshole. I have a very thick behind. Okay?
Is it a cheap chair?
No, it's a good chair.
Okay,
it's a
because
really, really good chair.
like
Like-
mauled that leather.
But see, like John's bottom is like that of the exterior of a rhinoceros. It's quite textured and abrasive.
Yeah,
I presume you have pants on generally.
I would say a good 80% of the time, yes.
But you are just kind of adjusting and clenching and releasing over and over while you...
Many times throughout the day, yes.
Okay.
That's like a chair you walk by that's left on the street. Like, 'cause someone doesn't know how to get rid of
that
it.
chair wishes it was left on the street.
And so, like, the wear and tear in this chair... God, that rhymes. Looks like it's a 10-year-old chair, not a chair that's under 2 years.
Yeah.
Like, this chair is...
My body is very, like, hard on things. Like, it's not a comfortable body. It's not a soft body. My partner, who I love very dearly and loves me, does not like cuddling with me because it hurts too much. Like, I am not a pleasant human being to be in physical contact with.
No, you're not. You're not a snuggle puff.
I think you should play the Thing from Fantastic Four.
Yeah, you're very callous.
Yeah, that's how I would describe my body. Not my emotions, but my body, very callous. It just breaks things, you know? Like, things like, if you leave something around me for a while, it'll deteriorate. It will just wither. And I can't help it. It's just what happens.
Because your couch in your living room has a very...
How many times have you replaced your couch, Bryan?
Never.
Okay, 4 times.
Because you've done like a fucking nuclear blast on the fucking on the cushion.
Well, I a nuclear blast over the course of like a year. That's what my body is in terms of damage.
But you're like those special drills that they use to drill for like marble, and it takes them like a year to cut through like a kilometer of marble. You're just slowly boring your way through couch cushion.
I'm corrosive is what I am.
I just wanted everyone to know.
Bryan was just really excited about this segment. I feel like I've addressed everything as truthfully as I possibly can. I haven't tried to hide anything or deny anything. I'm here. I'm out in the open, okay?
Everyone knows my fascination with John's body. The reason I'm so fascinated is because it is truly the gift that keeps on giving. And that as you know him over the years, you discover more about him because his furniture tells a different tale.
And you're like a little bit gay for him.
Oh, yeah.
Guys, 150 episodes.
of pure quality.
Pure, as if you needed to be told after that intro. I have prepared a little song for our 150th episode. There's 150 for all to see. To be a member of the Bosscast is my destiny. Take it away, Bryan.
Gotta hate them all. We don't like video games. Let's fight a boss.
It's true. Do you guys ever notice how, like, in the entirety of this podcast, over 150 episodes, not one good video game?
Never.
What's that about?
Trying to think of one. Didn't play the new Animal Crossing. Heard good things. Was that a good game?
I hear that's pretty good.
I'm coming around on Firewatch.
Oh boy. I thought to celebrate the 150th episode, we'd do something a little special today. Which is why I would like to welcome our surprise host for this episode. It's Bryan.
Hey everybody. John's put me on the spot. This is not a bit.
I put you on the spot for the next 3 hours. You're going to be in charge of transitions, of announcing new segments, of ending segments. That one's the hardest. So enjoy. Go wild, buddy.
Oh, wow, this is great. Is it really going to be a 3-hour episode? It could be 4 hours. Who knows? There's going to be a lot of fumbling. There's going to be a lot of awkward pauses.
Mm-hmm.
Oni, our dear editor, leave it all in. People need to hear this raw. Speaking of Raw, which is wrestling, we're not talking about wrestling because that's not a segue. But Questlog...
This is a video game podcast.
But Questlog is the first section of this podcast where we talk about media, not wrestling. John, what...
It sure is the first section of this podcast, Bryan, and we can get to it right after we introduce the name of the podcast and ourselves.
Shit. Okay, the name of this podcast, right, is Let's Fight a Boss.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then you go like...
No, not me, Bryan. Not today.
So I go... So we can't do the quest log. I've got to do the names, isn't it? Okay, so to my right...
Okay, no.
Literally no one.
You have to announce the podcast first, and you got to say the catchphrase that releases the dopamine in everyone's brain, because I've said it so many times and they just associate it with comfortable, nice times.
During this bit, I usually like take a little 1-minute nap. Oh my god. Alright. So
it's not so fucking easy, is it?
No, okay, so... I don't know why you're laughing. It's going to happen to you someday as well.
Niamh, I would not look forward to episode 200 if I were you.
Yeah. Okay. Dear listener, welcome to the world's strongest video game podcast. This is your host, Bryan, speaking.
Okay, Bryan, I just want to say, top marks there. Good, affirmative, scared Niamh, always bonus points on that one.
I introduced myself first.
Last.
Nope. First. Okay. It's Bryan style.
Okay, that's Bryan style.
You gotta be a dickhead. You gotta gotta be very rude and put yourself before others. Okay, to my left, she is overwhelmed and fearing for the future of this podcast. It's Niamh.
Hello.
And to my distant right is someone simmering in his own compliancy. It's John.
I don't know what that means, but like something about it feels right.
And which you always are. I have already said my name, so it doesn't matter.
Bryan.
Sure.
It feels like it needed to happen.
Do you know Barry?
Nice one, Barry.
Yeah. I think one time the school receptionist called me Barry, and I was like, you know what? Not going to correct her. Let's see how long this goes on for. I think I was at that school 3 years. On the last day, goodbye, Barry. So, cheers.
I've told this story before, but I always remember, Bryan, we used to work in a place, and our boss at the place, I'd been working there for 2 years, he walks by me and he goes, "Hey, Bryan."
Oh, it's Barry now. Mm-hmm. Okay, quest log. Let's talk about some media that we have consumed and we want to regurgitate on this podcast. John, can you tell me, please, about Midnight Mass?
Boy, can I. Oh, man. Niamh, did you watch any more of this?
Yeah, I finished it.
Okay. What'd you think?
Yeah, I liked it. It's not my favorite Mike Flanagan vehicle, a Flanawagon.
not a Flanacopter, or like a Flan Fleet, because there's like a whole
a Flan Fleet. I'm okay with it. Yeah,
means his entire library of vehicles.
It would be the lesser of the Flan Fleet.
Even Bly Manor.
I love Bly Manor.
Of course you would.
It's romantic.
Maybe this was a love story. Then don't make it like a fucking ghost story. Anyway.
Gothic horror is often romantic.
You can love a ghost.
Yeah.
And they do.
A lot. But yeah. I liked it. Wasn't my favorite. I found the monologuing, because he always does monologuing. I found the monologuing in this like way too much, to the point that it was really funny. I want to just like, I'll let you go, but there's this bit where one of the characters in it, a woman, she's talking about like escaping an abusive relationship, and she like monologues for ages, and like it's interesting, so like whatever, but the guy responds to her by basically going, not being like, oh, that sounds awful, but basically going, wait till I tell you about my dream, and then just fucking monologues hard at her for 10 minutes about his dream after she tells him this horrible story. And like, it's really sad, and it's about like his trauma or whatever, but it's like, I was like, I don't feel like that is the right response to this, but I felt like this is the worst example of his monologues, because usually I'm kind of engaged and emotionally like on board for them. With
I'm not opposed to a monologue.
No, me neither. I love theater, but like with these ones, I was just like, ugh.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. To me there was one that was worse, and it was the one that ended the series.
Oh.
Because I feel like that went on for like 20 minutes or something. I was super into that last episode. I was really excited to see what happened. That monologue began. I fell asleep. I woke up. It was still happening. And this is the second American TV show this year I've seen that's ended on a big stupid monologue. And the monologue is kind of like, here's what you should have been feeling this entire series. And it's such a clumsy way to end something. And like I think, monologues can be really cool, and like especially when you think about them like stage production stuff. Other than that though, I had a whale of a time with this thing. I loved it. Like this would be my favorite of the Flander versus, wait, what's his name?
Flanawagon.
Flano versus
Flanagan.
Mike Flanagan.
I really, really had a good time with it. It's a very difficult series to talk about without like getting into kind of some spoiler stuff. Like I don't even really want to say like which monster it is, but the monster it is, I thought was just such a fascinating take on that monster, and I thought it was such a like interesting look at like just kind of what a lot of religion is. Kind of like people feel this emptiness in their lives and they fill it with something, and the things they fill it with can be kind of fucking horrible. And I thought that was great. I thought there's like this whole kind of subplot with the sheriff of the town, and he's Muslim, and like just the casual and not so casual racism he endures. Like there's just this one town meeting, or like a school meeting, and it's just, no one raises their voices, no one shouts, but it is just some of the like vilest, most like casual prejudice, and it was such a difficult scene to watch for that reason. I wouldn't say any of the characters in it really stood out to me, but I did really enjoy, like, I guess just that whole small island town dynamic, and they just all have their kind of way, and this is how it works. And like there's already a bunch of like stuff that's happened before the series starts. You kind of learn that. You learn about the drunk in the town, about how he paralyzed the little girl, and their kind of narrative evolves. But I just thought it wielded a lot of that. It's kind of, wielded isn't the right word. It like fused a lot of that stuff so well with its supernatural elements, and every episode it felt like it was kind of peeling back another layer. It's like, oh, I understand what this is, and now I get what's kind of happening. And it was really, really fun. Like some of the reveals in it I loved. I thought like, oh shit, that's so cool. I think it is trapped behind a very unwieldy and kind of boring first episode.
Yeah, definitely. I think episode 3 is the one where you're like, oh, okay.
I think I even said that to you. I was like, oh, fucking episode 3, there's some shit happening there.
But like, yeah, it is pretty slow, but I think if you kind of know Mike Flanagan, you kind of know where it's kind of building to. But if this is maybe the first one you're watching, that first episode people might drop off with it kind of thing.
Yeah, for sure. But I really had a great time with it. To me, it was like, it's probably my favorite horror TV show I've seen. I don't think that's a super high bar. Like, I think there's some decent horror stuff out there for sure, like especially in the last couple of years, but I thought it was really, really super cool. I think it has a real Stephen King vibe to it as well. Like it like I just thought I thought for ages it was an adaptation of something, and then I realized it wasn't. But yeah, highly recommended if you want some really good spooky watching.
Yeah.
Nice. Niamh.
Oh yeah.
A show previously discussed, but you've seen it.
Yeah, I watched all of Kevin Can F Himself. I loved it. I thought it was great, like absolutely fantastic. This was the show that John was talking about a few episodes back, where it has kind of two modes of being, where it's like first a very like highly saturated sitcom with all the kind of casual misogyny that comes with that's played off as comedy, and a very HBO style, like gritty, like desaturated, like drama.
And one shot multi-camera sitcom style, and the other one shot single camera.
Yeah. I just like, I thought it was fantastic. I thought like the Kevin character, the titular Kevin, like the actor played him so well.
Fucking brilliant, isn't he?
Where he's just like this joyful, lovable oaf who, when you look at what he's saying and what he's doing to her, is like so wildly abusive and like just controlling. Like, you don't really realize it at the start until Allison, his wife, starts to explain why she's working in the liquor store that she's working in, and she used to have a different job, but like Kevin got her fired. And it was like all these little ways where he kind of undermined her freedom and kind of keeps her under his thumb all the time. So it's always played off as a joke and this like lovable guy, but all the time she's just being kind of abused, and everything that's hers is just kind of being like peeled away bit by bit. And like everyone in the town is just like, oh, it's just Kevin. And it's just kind of like just denial of how this guy is treating her, because that's just the way it is. I think all the characters in it are fantastic, and all the acting in it is fantastic. The guy who plays Kevin and the woman who plays Patty, they're from theater backgrounds, and this is kind of their first big TV thing.
Wow.
And they just like, they're so good. Like, they're just so like, I think Patty and Kevin, for me, Alison's brilliant as well, but they really stole the show as characters, because Kevin never comes out of the sitcom world.
See, like, that's the thing that has me so excited. Can you imagine what he's actually going to be like if we, because the way it kind of works is like, there's the characters in the sitcom world, and then you see them out of the sitcom world, and they're kind of different. And I think Kevin's going to be real fucked up.
Yeah, because like Patty in the sitcom world is the girl of the group. So she has to like basically belittle Allison as well to keep her place in the group.
She's Kevin's sister who lives next door, isn't she?
Kevin's best friend's sister. Yeah, okay. Neil's sister. And like there's a bit where they kind of excommunicate her from the group because she didn't get Kevin a burger. But it's like this real freezing out where it's played off as like, she didn't get him a burger, it's funny, but in the kind of HBO kind of like gritty world of it, it's like he completely cuts her out and stops talking to her, and means other people can't talk to her, and there's the real malice to it. And it's like this real, like, I don't know how they really manage to balance these two things together, where something can be presented as hilarious, air quotes, in one world, but like the reality of what he's doing to someone in the other side of it just kind of comes up. One thing that did frustrate me a lot with this is that divorce is just never brought up as an option. And I know they're kind of, it's a whole Irish Catholic kind of area as well, like midnight mass as well. And maybe that divorce is just not an option there for them. But I would have loved if some character said, why not divorce him? And Allison just be like, he would never let me divorce him. Because for the whole time, I'm just like, just divorce him, you know? And it was just a little frustrating that was never presented as an option, even if it was just to be shut down. But I loved it. I can't wait for season 2. I was really surprised the places Paddy and Allison's relationship went with.
Yeah, that Paddy, she's a grower throughout that season.
She is an onion. She is layered.
Yeah, totally.
There's a lot going on there, so much so that I don't really know what drives her, but like it's there, but it's kind of like, how does she feel? And it's just like there's like this sense of like small town isolation and just desolation, because like it's like a lot of low paying jobs and just a lot of like, maybe there's just no escape for a lot of people. So
it's a kind of grim reality.
Yeah, and it's very interesting. I found the whole thing entertaining and grim and funny and charming and just very well acted.
You know, it's funny because like I feel like exactly the same as you. I love this show, and like every night I was watching it, I was like, here we fucking go. Some of the reviews for it were not great. And
yeah,
I kind of feel like, I was kind of thinking about that, and I kind of feel like sometimes I feel like there's a certain kind of TV watcher that watches TV very intently, but is really focused on like dialogue and plot and stuff like that, and less so like art direction, what the visuals are saying. And to me, to get that show, you have to be paying attention like to how it looks, because so much of the emotion of it is communicated through that.
I actually read some of those reviews, and I think this got review bombed, because a lot of those reviews, even on IMDb, brings up that it has an agenda, like an anti-patriarchal agenda, and like brings up misandry and stuff, because like it's kind of cheekily pointing to kind of like the misogyny that was in classic sitcom shows. And it's not like, you know, bemoaning anything that came before it. It's just saying, here's a stylistic thing that can like, you know, cover up the reality of maybe the comedy. And it's not like, again, not trying to tank anything or take anything down. It's using its style to say something about the character of Kevin and how he's treated in that world. But so much of the reviews were just like, oh, it's agenda TV kind of shit.
But like, I also, I don't feel like Allison's character is treated as like the good guy.
No.
Like, I think by the end of it, it's like, wow, she's a piece of shit.
Yeah, by the end of it, I was just like, I think Kevin's abuse has either rubbed off on Allison, because Allison kind of like, Allison uses her own situation to maybe kind of dupe other people. There's a really, she's a few conversations with a few other characters she's had where I was just like, that's so fucking shit, you know?
I was like, why is Allison ruining this person's life?
Exactly. And like, yeah, I don't think it does give Allison a free pass. I don't think it's like Allison is a victim of Kevin's like casual misogyny, but also Allison's first port of call is not divorce. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like I definitely feel like it's a show about misogyny. I don't think a show about misogyny is automatically misandry. Like,
yeah,
that's a ridiculous way to look at the world.
It's like it's kind of like, yeah, Kevin is a misogynist and an asshole, but it's like people embolden that, but also he's not the only bad person here.
Yeah.
There's other bad people. I think I feel like there's a lot going on with the show, and just to kind of be like, it's a critique of like misogynist like sitcoms is just kind of the most surfaced
I
thing
feel like
you could pull out of it.
That is like, that's the top layer of that pie.
Yeah.
But like there's a what so excited me about the show was because like I watched the trailer and I got that. It's like, oh, it's like a kind of takedown of like misogynist sitcoms. What excited me was like where it went from there.
Yeah.
You know, like that was what pulled me in. It was like, holy shit, these fucking characters. I had a problem where I thought the sitcom parts were really funny.
Really?
I just kept laughing at them, and they're so shit, but they're so perfectly shit.
Yeah.
Like they're so, like that could be a show on television. Like it wasn't pulled back at all. And I guess the fact that the show knows this stuff is stupid. Like at one point, doesn't Kevin meet a ghost while he's out in an eating contest?
Classic Kevin.
I don't think it's a ghost. He meets a real like.
But it's like the disembodied spirit.
Oh yes, the disembodied.
Yeah.
Yes, you're right. He does meet a ghost. He gets a pep, like something from The Simpsons. He gets a pep talk from a coach from the team he likes, because like another guy from an opposing team, I don't know who these teams are, was there, and he was trying to finish a steak faster than that guy.
Like, I don't know, if that was like a storyline in like Everybody Loves Raymond, I'd probably watch it and be like, yeah. But I guess just the show knows how fucking stupid this
Yeah.
is, and that something about that just kept cracking me up, I think.
Oh yeah, but like it's great. It has great comedic timing. Like when like Kevin starts to run for office and stuff, just the roll down of the banner and everything, just as it punctuates stuff. It's like it's on point, like with what it's trying to do with its humor.
Yeah,
I think it's really clever. I was kind of worried about the idea of a season 2 because like it's something that I feel like
this was going a direction.
Yeah.
This was going places.
I feel like you could probably get max 3 seasons of this, if not like leave it at the 2. But I hope they have a plan to wrap it up, kind of thing. But overall, I really, really enjoyed it. And the last scene of the last episode, I was just like, oh shit.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh man. I'm so glad you enjoyed that, Niamh. I saw it earlier. Niamh was like, I have a bunch of stuff I'm pissed off about on today's podcast. And I looked at the docket and I was like,
Not Kevin! What did he do?
my TV show!
No, I loved it. It was really good.
Great. That's super good to hear.
I'll talk.
Yeah, you're the host.
Jesus.
I'm doing great, aren't they?
Yeah.
I think you're actually doing really well.
I rewatched Elvira, Mistress of the Dark.
Elvira's the best.
This is the 1988 feature film spin-off of the Elvira franchise. Elvira, for anyone who doesn't know, and I think most people know who Elvira is.
If you don't, you have seen her referenced.
Yes. She is similar to, I guess, Mystery Science Theater and a couple of other riff tracks where she is a woman with a beehive hairdo and is dressed like a slutty Morticia Addams. Mm-hmm. She looks fantastic and she's fucking hilarious. And she introduces schlocky horror and B-movies from the 1950s, and they are played, and every 5 minutes or so she will interject with some funny jokes and observations. I guess like Mystery Science Theater is probably the most popular. I guess Tales from the Crypt Keeper is another one. I don't know if Tales from the Crypt Keeper repackaged old films or just told original stories as an anthology.
There's a bunch of different versions of that, and some of them are what you're saying and some of them are the other thing. I don't know.
But I guess with horror films and kind of pulpy movies, there's so many of them, and so many of them as well are kind of public domain at this point that it's very easy to just kind of come across a lot of them and repackage them in a different way. And I guess like this was done in the 80s with Elvira and a couple of others, but I guess like this is kind of done contemporary wise, you know, with YouTube, that, you know, there's lighthearted analysis and there's the deep analysis, but a lot of the
deep-hearted analysis.
But like a lot of the lighthearted one does have the YouTube host kind of mugging the camera and going, get a load of this. But that's what Elvira is, and she really, really honed her craft. But the feature film is a spin-off of that, where the TV show host Elvira has an opportunity to stay at her great aunt's house and inherit a fortune. So she leaves the TV production and moves to a small town, and the small town is full of religious prudes who do not understand her way of life. But don't worry, she wins them over because she's the fucking best.
I mean, hey, what chance did they have?
Is it a good movie?
It's good in a cult and campy way. It doesn't feel fully complete in that it seems like it was saved in the edit, but a lot of it still feels a bit botched. And a lot of the kind of like A to B to C with the plot points don't really make a lot of sense. But that's not the point of this film. This is absolutely like a midnight movie that you would put on at a party. And I think anybody who is terrified of horror movies but wants to watch something that has a spooky vibe, this is right up your alley. It's just got enough of a Halloween vibe, but it's not a horror movie. But it's a bit spooky.
So Elvira has been kind of like in the public conscious again because her autobiography came out recently, and
the woman who plays her, Cassandra Peterson, put out her book.
I haven't read it, but an expert excerpt came out and like a little interview came out that she is dating a woman and has been for 19 years, and that she never felt comfortable kind of coming out in case it would damage her career, and that she feels comfortable coming out now. She also like followed it up that she was very happy at all the support she got after this information came to light.
That's so cool.
Because like the character Elvira is very, very attracted to men.
Yeah, she's very sexy and she's kind of a sex bomb, and I guess like at the time that would have probably.
Yeah, and like especially this movie's 30 years old, but like she's very horny for guys.
It's 33 years old.
33 years old, that's not...
Came out the year I was born.
There's a bit at the end of this movie and it's just her doing a really, really special trick with tassels.
You can't see it, but I saluted Elvira.
And I was reading the trivia on this movie because of course I did, and the last 5 minutes of this movie are just basically like a very small Vegas production of Elvira doing some stuff with a bunch of hunks like posing around her, and she gets out these tassels and she does a trick with them. She was sick with the flu while she did this, and you would not know this.
What a trooper.
Legend.
It's fucking amazing. But like Cassandra's played Elvira for like 40 years and she is not aged at all.
I don't get it.
And so there's a bunch of Elvira specials on Amazon Prime, so I put on one of them. But in the middle of it, she took out an iPad, and I was really confused because up until that point, I thought it was one of the episodes from the 80s because it was in Forest the Tree. But she took out an iPad, and I was like, wait, no, this is like relatively contemporary. What the fuck? Because she looked exactly the same as she did in the movie that was 33 years old. I don't know how she does it.
It's like so crazy out of makeup, like she's a redhead and everything.
She is.
It's like she's so different looking, but still so young looking.
You know what? I'm just gonna put it out there. If she ever wants to guest on this podcast, she's more than welcome.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Elvira, you know, we know you like listen to us and you don't make a big fuss about it, but you know, send us an email.
Yeah, totally. Niamh, what's your message for Elvira?
Girl, same. And you're welcome to come on.
That was perfect.
Oh yeah, Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. If you're looking for like, you know, an easy to watch Halloween movie that isn't going to give you a fright, this is it. Okay, we got one last thing, and I'm so excited to hear John talk about it because this is something we took the piss out of earlier this year.
Oh, I've taken the piss out of ReZero many, many times.
Yeah, John, you're going to tell us about ReZero.
I watched some ReZero in part.
Fucking finally.
Because I was too mean to that guy a couple of episodes ago and I felt bad. Yeah, I'm pathetic. So ReZero kind of came out. I would say we're still in the like isekai era of anime, but it came out like right at the prime, like when Sword Art Online was still like the biggest fucking thing in the world, and this was another thing. And I watched the first 2 episodes of it, and I was like, nah. And I just, that was enough for me. For reasons that you can dig into our history to find out, I decided to watch another couple. I was kind of in between anime. I like to have an anime on the go, just something to watch like before bed to chill out. And so I was like, okay, I'll give this one more shot. And you know, perhaps I was too harsh on ReZero. Niamh, have you watched any?
No.
Because we had an exchange on Twitter that made me think that you were more familiar with it than I expected.
I am familiar because I have an anime girlfriend who watches these things and then relays information to me, and then I go, nah.
Yeah.
And like, I think everybody knows the maid character Rem.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because,
and also her sister Ram.
But people don't really like Ram. But people...
this is what I asked Rebecca. I was like, because like we're into figure collecting and we're on My Figure Collection, all of this. People go crazy for Rem, and I'm like, is it just the blue hair? Like, why do people like Rem over Ram? Because like they're literally the same.
Yeah, they're basically one is pink.
Swap.
Yeah, one is pink hair, one is blue hair, and they're like a mirror image with the fringe.
And Rebecca explained it to me that like Rem likes the boy character, but Ram doesn't, and thus people like Rem for that reason. Because she's available to the to the people who will slot themselves into the main character role.
See, I was confused because in the first episode that Rem's in it, she's like mean. And I was like, oh,
hell yeah.
I was like, oh no.
You love a mean girl.
Yeah, like that's my weakness. But then after that, she turned into Meido-chan. And it just, She just it's not that I disliked her, she just disappeared from my radar.
Okay.
Just stopped registering. Okay, I'm like 8 episodes into this thing. I'm not gonna say I think it's like the greatest thing ever. I don't. I think it's a schlocky piece of anime that is fun, and where I started to enjoy it with its second major arc. Whole gimmick of this show is dude wakes up in a fantasy world, goes through the day, dies, wakes up back at the same point. And I would say you could kind of say that he hits checkpoints along the way. He'll hit a new morning that he starts from that morning. And so the second checkpoint he hits is him waking up in the mansion where he meets Rem and Ram and some other people. And he works there for 4 days. And on the 4th night, he's... Shut the fuck up, phone! On the 4th night, he gets murdered and he wakes up back at the start of the 4th day.
Oh, I hate when it happens.
Or at the first day. Yeah, exactly. And from there, it's him. Basically, like, there's 5 characters who live in this mansion. And the implication is that one of them is doing the murdering. And it's about, from then, it's like him kind of trying to piece together what's happening. Because, like, he goes through the 4 days again. Then on the second night, he dies again, but he dies in a different way. The first time seemed to be a magic spell. This time seemed to be like, I don't know, a weird fucking weapon or something. And so, like, it did actually do a decent enough job of building up, like, a fun air of intrigue. And I don't think the characters, like, none of them yet are, like... I don't think about them when I don't watch this show, but when I watch this show, I'm like, oh yeah, Amelia's alright. Like, she's fine. They're fun, you know, they're grand. It has been interesting watching it kind of actually really take its time with this whole mansion arc in a way I think that would, like, frustrate some people. But I'm kind of into it because it is, like, it is really like watching one of those super old school dating sims where you can see him build up his affinity with this character, and if he does that, this happens. But then if he spends time with this character, this happens. And they actually do a good job of, like, framing those mechanics in an anime in a way that, like, you at least feel like you kind of have a grasp on. The animation is like a solid, like, B-, and the backgrounds are like a solid B-. I think some of that stuff kind of lets it down a little. It never looks bad. Like, there's never a frame that's off model, or there's never a janky looking background. There's just never anything exceptional. You know, like, even like the mansion itself, it's meant to be this, like, really otherworldly kind of mansion. It just looks like a mansion that they've kind of, like, you know, those old London hanging street lamps?
Yeah.
There's, like, them on the wall, and it's like, it's just kind of lazy world building. It's kind of lazy environment design. It's not really doing a whole lot because, like, this is a mansion with, like, infinite hallways and, like, rooms that switch around and stuff. So, like, yeah, I don't think this anime is trash in the same way. And, like, I judged it too harshly because I am bad for that. I judge things too quickly, and I am actually having a good time with it. I'll probably finish it, but yeah, that's my ReZero take.
I've got some questions.
Go for it.
So you've gone off Rem.
She's fine.
Okay,
so fuck Rem.
Okay, so still fuck Rem. Because, like, you were kind of like, okay. And then you were like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Meidu-chans, submissive-chans do not... not that I dislike them, they just don't register.
Do you prefer Ram?
She seems like the more interesting character right now.
John,
but then
likes
some crazy stuff...
Sundari.
Like...
Do you want an Awu please steppy? Is that it?
Okay, look, like Asuka's amazing, okay? Like, Asuka's fucking brilliant, but, like, Asuka isn't amazing because she's a tsundere. Asuka's amazing because she's a fucking phenomenal character whose past and upbringing and trauma causes her to act in a way that would later become tsundere.
Yeah.
You know, like, I don't like it when you see a Rei Ayanami in a show that doesn't have the fucking, like, internal mechanics of Rei Ayanami. Like, Rei Ayanami is this fucking just, like, really unsure human. She's like a newborn child who doesn't fucking know anything in a teenager's body, but not in a weird, cute way, in a good way.
Yeah.
And
it's very, very unsettling.
But yeah, isn't it weird that she's, like, your favorite?
But Ray's like me, Niamh. I don't understand people.
John's an adult man, and he's, like, maybe 5 years old mentally.
Well, I am better now, but like as a teenager, I was just like, I don't know fucking how people work at all. Like this doesn't make any sense. And then like I saw Ray, and Ray was the same as I am like Ray. Everyone else is like Asuka. That's my reality.
I agree. I think like watching Evangelion as a teenager, I really liked Ray for that reason, because like I felt like a kinship with her. And then as an adult rewatching Evangelion, I was just like, oh no, I'm Masato and I'm worried about the kids. You know?
Yeah, okay. Like you grow into Masato in the same way I grew into Bebop. It's like, oh shit, there's just things I'm never going to get over. You know. So yeah, like I love Ray, and it makes me so sad how much of her fan base is like they just want their creepy, quiet anime wife.
Yeah.
But that's anime, right? Like that is all anime. But
so yeah,
back to ReZero.
Back to ReZero. Okay, sorry.
Okay, sorry, Bryan.
No, I thought this was all ReZero. I thought Asuka and Ray were in ReZero. No.
I mean, Rem is kind of a Ray, and Ram is kind of a Tsundere. But...
Okay, but then who's Gendo?
Oh, there's some tall, handsome gay lad in the mansion.
It's like
I don't think he's a Gendo though. I think he's just.
He's probably like a Fuyutsuki or a Kaji then.
He's the Hisoka kind of character.
Is ReZero over? Like
I think so. I actually just looked at this earlier. I think there's like 25 episodes.
Okay.
I thought there was like 2 seasons.
Me too. Maybe it's just Crunchyroll only had one.
Because I think it came out in like 2018. Because I know the Anime Expo summer of 2018, Rem was the big cosplay girl that year, because the previous year was Tubi in 2017, because there's always one multiple of a girl that a lot of people cosplay, and Rem was the 2018 version.
Rem would be pretty far down my list of like cosplay anime maids. I think people can do better.
Miss Kobayashi, she better.
You know, I've been watching season 2 of Kobayashi as well. Sure is much harder to ignore how fucking gross that show is now.
It was always gross, and when everyone loved it, I was just like, well, what is happening?
Okay. Now,
but there's a new character and she's terrible.
She sucks. Her design's so bad. But Niamh, like, I agree with you. I'm also saying how much harder it is to ignore that now. Beautifully animated show.
Oh, yeah.
Like, incredible looking. Yeah, okay. Are there any more ReZero questions?
No, but while we're at it, I believe we got a question before, because we're on anime, and I just wanted to answer this. What is our favorite co-anime animation?
Kyo anime, like Haruhi Suzumiya.
I really love that Haruhi Suzumiya movie.
The Disappearance of Haruhi Suzumiya is one of the best Christmas movies ever made.
It's fucking brilliant. You know, I have a lot of time for K-On! I get why people aren't into it. I think it does some cool stuff. Also, like, I gotta be honest, I like Dragon Maid. It's shitty and problematic. It's also just, it's a comfy show for me to watch. Boobs bouncing everywhere.
Fucking Christ.
Niamh, before this podcast, you said, who's horny to podcast?
It's got an anime titty. We all like it, Niamh, especially you.
Liz and the Bluebird. It's like beautiful.
Is that the movie?
Yeah, that's the movie. But I also like Hibike Euphonium until they kind of tank it at the end. But season 2 of Free, also brilliant. Only season 2.
I watched Liz and the Bluebird before, and I was like, oh, this is super a film for Niamh and Rebecca.
It's very good.
Is season 2 of Free the bit where they go to Australia and the shark lad speaks English?
Yes.
It's really good.
I usually just prefer seasons 2 because everyone's friends, and then they have an outside kind of thing that they have to deal with, where usually season 1 is dealing with a whole pile of like miscommunication, and you're just like, oh my god, get over it and become friends already.
Become a team.
Yeah.
A swim team.
I think I talked to it on the podcast. I watched all of Hyoka as well. That's a KyoAni show that's super, super well directed. One of the most gorgeous first episodes of anything I've ever seen in my life. Like, incredible. The standard does not stay that high, but it's still pretty high. Only problem with that is, like, it did feel like a show that it was 24 episodes. It really only needed to be 12. But it was still great, and I was super sad because the dude who directed it was killed in the KyoAni arson attack.
Yeah.
It's like,
Jesus. Yeah.
The same with the director of Haruhi Suzumiya, the co-director of Disappearance. They really lost a lot of important staff members.
Yeah, and like, you know, human life is tragic in many circumstances, but like, yeah, they were some talented people, and it's such a waste.
I like Lucky Star as well. It's 15 years later.
I've never watched it, but the people who love that show swear that it's still good.
It's a really, really good anime about 2006.
That question came from Leon, by the way, because like we're not going to get to this at emails, but Leon, there's your Q&A answer.
There you go.
Yeah.
I felt like that was pretty comprehensive.
Yeah. An early email just for you, my dear. But that's kind of it for the quest log. For now upon, we will talk about the strategy talk. I do words good. I know talk.
No, I was about to.
I
was about to compliment you.
A word come out it. My mouth, she make a shape of word. Hello, job.
I think
Niamh.
I think we might have to make this permanent.
List by bus. Starting Billy. Niamh. Job. You like podcast? I can talk.
I like podcasts.
You listen? You hear my word?
It's good.
Good words. I know talk, okay? I know how to do him. I know word. I know a word, okay?
You do.
What's the good word? I tell you what's the good word. Video games. Niamh, there's so many fucking video games here. What the fuck have you been doing?
Oh, I know.
Niamh, how about you give me one of these ones that...
Are we recording, Bryan?
Oh yeah, we are.
Okay.
Niamh, how about you give me one of these video games that you have an opinion on, and you fucking lay it out flat, and we'll all sit down.
Okay, I played the Procession to Calvary. It's a game on Game Pass currently. I think it came out last year, but is being released on console this year. It came to Xbox and I think Switch. It is a cutout animation style game based on Renaissance paintings. So a lot of Renaissance paintings are all in the public domain, so you can just use them for whatever you want. It's why Capcom have Renaissance paintings in all their frames and everything.
Sorry, Niamh, is this the kind of Monty Python looking thing?
Yes.
This
Yeah.
looks fucking mad.
I've seen this as well, yeah.
It's really great. It's basically a point and click adventure where you play as a knight who was doing the Holy War and the war ends, and she is like, but I love to murder. May I murder some more, please? And they're like, no, we can't. The Holy War is over. But there is this one guy we did not kill. And she's just like, okay, well, I'm going to go on an adventure to kill this dude. And you can go basically find this guy. And it is point and click adventure. So, for example, the first thing you meet is there is a boat and there is no oars in the boat. So you have to find the oars. You find that a beggar guy is using the oars as crutches and you need to convince him to give you the oars. You can kill literally everyone in this game to get where you want to go. You do not have to do any of the puzzles. You can just murder the shit out of them with your sword. It is just an option to kill them and take the oars and go. And anyone who blocks your path, you can just murder them. And that is a way to get one of the three endings. You find this guy with the oars. He is just like, I need to ask the people in the room if I should give you the oars. And this is all Renaissance style painting, so it looks so fucking weird at all times.
So, okay, I wanted to ask you this. I watched like a trailer of this, and like I think it looks good. I think it looks cool. I think it looks like a fucking nightmare. Like there's something about the visuals that quite like frightened me.
Yeah, absolutely. You get to a point in it, after the oars, you get to another point where they're just crucifying people because there's a whole body crucifixion depicted in the Renaissance. So there's just like people screaming, and I was playing this at home in my family home over the weekend, and my mom was like, what do you do? Like, what is this? Because it's just
playing
like
art.
And I was just like, it's paintings, Mom, and a video game. You won't get it.
Two things you don't get.
Mom.
But it also is playing like music from the time period as well. But there's like this guy with a flute with his leg in a bucket walking around like playing the flute as you're there. So there's always someone in scene playing music to have the music playing in each area. So there's a place where everyone's just being crucified, and one of the puzzles, you need to take one of the severed heads and put it in your inventory. You need to drop that head in a bucket full of like bugs to make it a skull, and put that on a altar to Satan to get a pearl, and there's a whole pile of things.
This is real like old school point and click.
It is old school point and click, but it is honestly more straightforward than you would think it was. I needed to use a guide twice, and it was because I was missing a... You know when you don't know something's a door?
Oh, yeah, you got a pixel hunt.
Yeah, it was that kind of thing. That only happened like once or twice, but mostly it was quite straightforward, and it was about maybe a 3 to 4 hour game.
But the cause and effect logic made sense.
Yeah, generally.
That's cool, because like a lot of the old games, like the runtime of those games came from the cause and effects being obfuscated.
Exactly. And there's a room you can go into where every painting that has been used to make up these collages of crazy Renaissance paintings is there to see, and you can look at them individually, and that also will give you cues to what you need. So there's a sleeping guy, and he's holding a book, and he's basically in a coffin, and he was just like, I'll give you the book if you give me something to replace it. And you can kind of go into the portrait of paintings, and there's different things that seem important. And there was like a picture of a little baby lamb. And I was like, maybe if I replace his book with a little baby lamb, he will give me the book. And he did. And like the humor is on point. And I will say like, and I don't know if this is like a good thing or a bad thing, because there's a lot of animation humor in it. So that obviously appealed to me. There's a bit where the screen drops down and they make animation jokes, because like at one stage there's a bit of an awkward animation of someone grabbing a key and the screen drops down. It was just like, that animation was horrible looking. And he was like, look, I tried so hard to make that look good.
Who's saying that?
Brilliant.
It's like God and like two cherubs talking to each other.
I think that's just funny. Like,
it is. Yeah. I found it really funny. It was like them commenting on breaking the fort wall and stuff, but it was an animation joke, and I was like, is this just appealing to me as an animator? But it was like, it's really good. I had a great time with it. I found the humor was on point. There is like, you have a 3-button thing where you can look, speak, and action, and you can give everyone a little smack on the face just as an action.
You would totally do that if you thought you could get away with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Does it come into effect at any point?
Yeah, like sometimes you smack someone and this guy was just like, you smack like a girl, and like she's like, I am a girl, and then he's just like, okay, well, it wasn't a criticism, it was more of an observation, but that's the first time you learn the gender of your character, because it's that Renaissance painting style, so you don't, it's hard to tell.
They're all very pretty blobs.
Yeah, it's like. And then, or you go into the next room and there's like priests praying, and you can smack their asses, and
nice.
Yeah.
But like, it's fun. There's 3 different endings. You can get them all like very easily. I played it over a weekend, and it was just like the inherent fucked upness of Renaissance paintings paired with the comedy that can come from puppet pin animation, cutout animation.
Yeah, because there was just something about it, and like I think I actually might take a look at it if I can, because you made it sound great. There was something about it that I watched the trailer and I was like, oh, like no, I don't want this.
It's just very good. They will, like, the game itself comments on its lack of voice acting. It doesn't have it, one guy did it and it comments on that kind of thing. So it does show its budget kind of thing, and it's short, but it's short and sweet. It's on Game Pass. If you have Game Pass, I think it's like what's stopping you from playing it? I also think if you get stuck, and I feel like this with any game, use a guide. Don't let yourself get frustrated with it, because it is a good game that you will enjoy if you let yourself get through it. Don't bang your head against the wall for no reason.
Sometimes I get like 80% of the way through a game without a guide, and then I hit some roadblock at 80% in, and it's just this stubbornness that I just don't, because like I have no problem with using guides. I don't care. But sometimes that happens to me and I just can't.
I know. I get that as well. But this was like something where I was just like, I have exhausted everything. And it was just a door I kept walking by. And like, that's such a pity to give up on a game for something so, like, just something you could walk past,
Yeah. And like, it's rare I will consciously give up on a game. But I feel like moments like that will make me like go to other games and by forfeit give up on that game,
I think when you're going into an adventure game, like, I nearly always have a guide ready. And it's like, I will use it if I need it, but I will never not use it, because I don't want to give up on a game just out of frustration.
And like the flip side of that is something like Silent Hill 2. I've beaten that game 4 times. I have a guide open from the word go whenever I play it.
Final Fantasy VIII, one of my favorite Final Fantasies. I think it's absolutely unplayable without a guide.
Yeah, I'm like that with the Metroid Prime games. I need steps, I need prompts.
I guess the thing is, like, we are not at points in our lives where I guess we really have a lot of time to figure things out like that. And so when I do play a game, I do want to, unless like it's kind of the point. Sometimes I don't know. It's tricky.
Like I feel like if you're a person who plays adventure games, you probably would not get caught in this. But like it's not a genre that I come to very often. And I think if this is something you just want to try out, and it's not a genre you come to often, then do yourself a favor. You know.
I also think it's something like fighting games, where basically if you are not watching like YouTube strategy videos on how your character works, you're basically not playing the game.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's interesting.
You got to invest in that community.
Just invest. Let yourself enjoy it.
Yeah, have fun.
Yeah.
Yes. Speaking of fun, John, tell us about Castlevania Aria of Sorrow, because I bet you're having so much fun.
Had so much fun.
You beat it?
I beat it.
No way.
And Bryan, we did have a conversation about
John, shut the fuck. You beat it?
That's right, Bryan. Believe it or not, I beat it.
Wow, fresh news to Bryan.
Fresh news to Bryan. All new here. Yeah, this game's great. It's really fun. It does not overstay its welcome. I loved it. If you can beat that true final boss without cheesing it, you are a better person than me, because what the fuck? I don't really have a whole lot to say about it that I didn't already say about it. It's a really fun Castlevania. I would kind of place it as good, or maybe slightly below Symphony of the Night. I think this game plays much better than Symphony of the Night. I think Symphony of the Night just has much more compelling environments. Like, I don't really remember any environments from Aria of Sorrow, but I remember like the library and stuff from Symphony of the Night, and like just that like orchestral music that just rolls it. Like, oh, it's so good. It's a cool game. That's all.
There you go.
There you go.
I want to talk about a game called Dojoran, which is a precision platformer starring a frog.
Of course.
People were like, Bryan, have you played this game? Don't worry. I have. And I will talk about it. Dojoran is developed by Noutlander, and it just came out on the Switch. It's like €4. I was like, let's fucking go. It's a black and white sprite pixel platformer, and you just play as a cool little frog. And if you're into games like Celeste and you're hungry for more, this is absolutely your kind of game. There are spikes and pitfalls everywhere. You need to be very precise with your jumps and movement. And from the get-go, the game starts timing you, because it is thinking about your future in this game. And when you learn the rules of this game and the controls, and when you start to get really fucking good, you can go back and beat levels and get your best times, and you can do it without taking any damage. It's all about score attacking. I'm about halfway through this game. I'd say it's about maybe 2 hours long, and I'm only about an hour into it, but I'm having a lot of fun.
Okay. I feel like after Meat Boy there was a lot of like precision platformers and stuff like that, like especially Celeste.
Yeah.
What would you say like is the thing about this game, the reason I should pick this game up and not play another one of those games?
Frog.
Well, I think in terms of its kind of originality, it is not. It's a derivative of these games. But what the developer, I don't know if it's a solo developer or a small team, but what they've done is they've studied the source material. So they've studied Celeste, they've studied Super Meat Boy, and they know what works in these levels, and they know what works as a set piece, and it is incredibly refined.
Okay, I like there's value in that too.
Definitely the price point of it being €4 kind of implies that, you know, it's not gonna be a big game, but they don't waste your time. And yeah, I'm about halfway through it. I'm gonna continue with the next hour of it. It's gonna be tough as fuck, but I'm gonna beat this game. And the sprite art's fantastic. It's an incredibly simple looking game, but every bit of sprite art looks amazing. The frog has a very funny run. He's got a very good jump, obviously. He has a second jump mechanic. If he swallows an apple, he can spit the apple back out, and it gives him a double jump that way.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
That's fun that a double jump is like an expendable resource.
Yeah. Because it doesn't have like a color coding technique like Celeste does, and his vertical kind of arc of the jump is very good. The horizontal is okay. Sometimes I do miss a horizontal platform by a pixel because I've misjudged it, but the verticality of the levels is very good.
Does it have a story or anything, or is this all pure gameplay?
I think it had a story, but it was like 10 seconds long. It just seems to be about a frog who's in a temple and he just keeps going deeper.
that's okay sometimes.
Yeah. And when you finish a level, you dive into a pond. And some of the levels are kind of chase sequences where he's being chased by a boulder. Cool. Dojoran. Good game. Niamh?
I went back to Aliens Fireteam Elite because I really like that game, and they have added a quick play option. So before this, if you wanted to play with other people, you would have to go into a mission, go into the difficulty of the mission, and hope fuck someone else was playing it so you get paired with them. And if not, you go into a different mission, try a different difficulty setting, hope someone's there. Now, because of the quick play thing, you can just go to quick play and it will just put you into whatever mission that someone else is there in. So that's good. That's a really helpful way to get games in this game. Not very great if you want to go through the campaign in, like, obviously chronological order. But if you finish the campaign and you still want to keep playing this game, that is very, very good and very, very alien. And the soundtrack is so, so good. But it's just like, I don't know, a detriment to itself. I really wish this team got to make a single player or co-op drop in, drop out game, because they can tell a good alien story. They got the vibe down. The shooting is fun. So much of it is so good and just no one's playing it. And it's just like, it's really sad, you know? It's like, I wish people were playing this game because I really, really enjoy spending time with it.
Yeah, it's a shame because, like, outside you, like, I heard a couple of people talk about it week of release and it's kind of gone. It
is gone, and, you know, it's, like, very hard to get a game. So I was like, and that's the other thing I want to complain about is it takes a really long time to get a game with people, and you're, like, waiting in lobbies, and you finally get one. And I finally got a game, and this is my complaint, is about the PS5 DualSense. I have bought 2 DualSense because the charge on these things is abysmal. And
it is
so bad.
It's terrible.
It's so bad, and I have to change them out. I've one on a charger, and I just swap them because it's the only way to play this game, to play with using this controller. I hate the mic that is automatically on. I think the mic should be automatically off, and then you can turn it on, and that's when the light is on. But with this fucking controller, when the mic is off, the light is on. So it is automatically on consistently.
That's
so
stupid.
It's so stupid.
It's distracting. It's going to drain the battery more.
Yeah. So I was playing a game of Fireteam, and I could hear every single thing that happened through this other guy's controller. So through my controller, where I could hear his mic, I could hear the game doubled up from his TV. So I play with my mic off and I have to turn it off specifically. So I turn my mic on, and I'm like, hey dude, I can hear your entire game through the controller. Can you just press the button and turn off your controller? And I hear myself through the controller.
Yeah, because it's got that 1 second feedback.
Yeah, nothing. He doesn't say anything. I can hear the shooting. I can hear the woman talking. I can hear everything. So I turn on my mic again, and I'm like, dude, like, come on. Can you just turn it off? And I just hear him go, and I'm like, oh my God. And, like, I don't get angry that often while playing video games.
Okay.
While playing video games. So I turn my mic back on, and I'm like, dude, come on. I can hear the entire fucking game repeated back at me. And he was just like, so he knows. He can hear me. I can hear my fucking self.
I was hoping he was going to be like, Niamh?
No, he doesn't say anything. The other guy we're on the team with was just like, hey, how'd you throw down a turret like that and pick it up? And I was like, you have to play as a class that has a turret, dude. And he was like, what? And I was like, oh, fuck, nothing. And, like, this other guy is just playing us back to each other. And I'm just like, are you, like, is your fucking brain in your ass and all you do is sitting on it all day? Because come on, dude, turn it off. And he's just coughing and eating food and playing back the fucking mic to me. And it's just like, why is this the default? Why is this on as default? That's
what it would be like if you were married to a boy, Niamh.
It's just fucking crazy. And it's the same thing.
Can you go into the system settings and turn his channel off?
I can go into my controller settings and turn the volume of my controller completely down.
Okay.
But that means I miss the other guy who's actually just using the mic like a normal person would. But it's just like, it's just really frustrating. And Aliens is one of those games where you don't really have a moment to kind of mess with things because aliens can kind of come from behind you and whatever. You don't really get that downtime to kind of fiddle with things too much when you're in a match. But it's just like, I don't understand why you would put this mic on as default. And it has happened multiple times where I'm playing Red Dead Online where I forget to turn off my mic because that's the default.
And have a very private conversation.
Yeah, where I'm just having a full-on conversation with my girlfriend and some guy's like, hey, I can hear you. And I'm like,
Oh, that would bother me.
It's such a bad design. I just don't understand why the light means off on this controller. And then the next thing that happened with the controller is like, I don't know if this has happened to you guys, but the spring in my trigger has completely... It's gone.
No.
Really?
So the resistant feedback that you have in the triggers. So the adaptive triggers have a spring in it that has been known to snap, and mine has snapped. So there's no resistance in it anymore. And I've looked at how to replace it, and people have been replacing it by putting the PS4 spring back into it and stuff, and just taking the controller back. But these controllers are €70.
Yeah.
They are.
Their charge is bullshit, and loads of people are complaining about this snapped adaptive trigger. And now my trigger is like overly sensitive where I touch it and the gun is shooting kind of thing. So I either have to get in contact with PS5, like with PlayStation, and try and get a replacement, or with Smiths where I bought it from, or replace it myself, which I might do, because like I've been reading Reddit threads where people are just buying bags of these springs to
because the controllers we have are only like 6 months old. Like they're still in the warranty.
Yeah. And like I'm not playing it that much, and as I said, I'm swapping between 2 controllers consistently. So like that's bad. These controllers need a redesign, and people are also getting drift.
Of baffling design decisions with the PS5.
Yeah. So that's my complaint. Aliens, Fireteam, still very good. Has added quick play, which is helpful for getting more games. Hope it adds crossplay. Fucking fuck the controller.
Bad controller.
Bad controller.
Okay, John. Are you lost in judgment?
You know, bro, I thought we were about to have like a real heart to heart.
No, I don't. Like, I know maybe mentally you're not in a good place, and maybe the term lost could describe, you know, a kind of a situation where you are in your kind of mind.
I feel like I should clarify that I'm doing just fine, because anytime I say anything in a video or otherwise that leads people to believe that I might not be doing so good, even in ways that I don't I don't think that Riverdale video warranted concern checkups at all. I'm good.
Yeah, I think that speaks for all three of us. For the most part, we're all doing fine.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, like, you know, getting along with it.
Yeah.
How are you getting along with Lost Judgment?
You know, really well. And I was expecting to not like this game because, as everyone agrees, all the latest Yakuza games are fucking garbage. But I really... What it is with this game is that it has taken, I feel like, every criticism I had with Judgment and just kind of gotten rid of them. So, like, one of my biggest problems with Judgment is like, oh, cool, you're a detective now. That's such a different dynamic than being part of the Yakuza. First mission, you break into a Yakuza office and beat the shit out of everyone. Now, in fairness, first mission in Lost Judgment, you sneak into a Yakuza office and kind of beat the shit out of some of them, so not that different. But then that quickly gets followed up with the actual main story, which is you, I think, becoming a teacher in a high school and trying to solve the bullying problem. And that to me is such a weird and different dynamic than like anything you could do in Yakuza. And I know here you run the orphanage in Yakuza 3, but this is a very different kind of thing. And it really, I feel like, embraces a lot of what was potentially fun about the idea of existing in this world and not being like an invincible member of the Yakuza, you know? It's like you place cameras around the high school and it's like, oh, that's kind of creepy. But then what's his name? Nag? Tak. Yeah, Tak's like, I better not put them anywhere creepy. And it's like, good on you, Tak. And then like the little fucking friendship he has with his Barra titty partner is so great. I love those two.
That dude with the loud shirt.
Oh,
he could scream at me all night.
He is such a fucking hunk. Like, my God. Niamh, I checked the butt situation that you asked about last episode. It's flat as a pancake, dude. I'm sorry. Yeah. But I like this game so much better. And another part of it is I just think the combat is so vastly improved. One of the first things that happens is you get a new fighting style called Snake Style, and it's a mix between like Wing Chun and Aikido. So if you don't know anything about martial arts, it's like if the dude from Ip Man also grappled.
So you're taking...
I like it like that, the idea that someone would know Wing Chun but would know Ip Man.
I think people know it, man.
Okay.
But that's his thing.
Okay.
Yeah, but like people know who Bruce Lee is. People don't know what Jeet Kune Do is.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough. You got me.
I gotcha.
Your opponent is attacking you with momentum and force. You are taking that flow and turning it into a counter.
Yeah, exactly. So like the whole primary mechanic of this fighting style is counters. And like I love counters, I love parries, I love any fighting system that has that. But also, one thing I've noticed with this game, I feel like since Yakuza 0, the heat moves in Yakuza have kinda
lost their heat.
Whoa!
That's precisely what I wanted to say, Niamh. Thank you. I feel like a lot of the animations for them have gotten kind of clumsy and imprecise. Like, and that was the case with Yakuza 6, which is a game that I love, but I don't think the heat moves in that are that good. Same with Yakuza 7, but like they kind of had their own summon animations which were fun in a different way. The heat moves in this look fucking awesome. They look so good. There's one where he kicks someone's legs out from under them, making them do like a cartwheel in midair. Then they're upside down against a wall, and he does like the Ip Man chain punches on their stomach, which looks really cool. And then before they hit the ground, he just fucking extends his leg and just kicks them in the face. It's beautiful. And then there's all these really weird creative ones as well. Like there's this heat action called Spirit of Kidnapped to Brazil.
Okay.
Which is...
Oh, is that the one where you get caught in the car and it dries off?
Tak throws someone into a car, and then your opponent... It plays a little cutscene where your opponent, like, bounces off the car and then is like, hey, and, like, kicks the car and gets angry at it. The window rolls down. They get dragged through the open window and put in between these two massive dudes, and then, like, your opponent is just like, oh no, and then the car just drives off.
They're gone.
Yeah, it's great. I'm having a lot of fun with this game, and it's not making me feel old Yakuza feels, but that's good. This is different. Like, this is something new, and I'm really excited by it. And this is Negoshi's, I think, last game.
Yeah, because I guess the studio's going to go through a big structure now.
Yeah,
big change.
I don't know specifically what roles he has or has not had in previous Yakuza games, but I feel him all over this game. Like, one of my big criticisms with the cutscenes in Yakuza 7 was I felt like a lot of them just sucked. Like, the visual direction of them was awful. And there was some that were good, there were some that felt like those old Yakuza games. This new one, it's like there's interesting camera angles, they're doing interesting musical cues. There's like, it's that presentation of it being like this really fucking melodramatic Japanese soap opera, that's all there, and I'm having a really, really good time with it. I've been basically trying to get through Deathloop so I can like put all my time into this. But yeah, we'll get to that. But yeah, look, I'm still early on, like I'm still like first 5 hours, but I'm having a really good time with this.
How do you feel about the kind of leadership change in general?
To be honest with you, like, Negoshi has been making Yakuza for 25 years. I think it would be fucked up for me as a fan of his to be, like, disappointed that he's leaving. I also think we have, like, 9 Yakuza games, if you count Dead Souls and the Samurai flashback ones. Like, I have yet to play 5. There's still a lot of Yakuza for me to experience. I think best wishes, go do something new and cool, and I hope that the series from here, like, I hope it takes a good direction. But I mean, it is end of an era, right? Whether things work out or not, there is an era of this series that is gone, and shit ends. Shit ends, and you have to move into the next thing. And I hope Negoshi is happy, and I hope, whatever he moves on to do, I hope it's satisfying to him. But, like, that dude owes me fucking nothing.
There you have it.
Yeah. I'm sure it'll be fine. There's a huge team behind it, and those games are built to be an asset franchise. They'll keep on making. Alright. Before I talk about my game, I want to do a Deathloop catch-up for both of you.
I wonder, is that going to be a long catch-up?
I don't know. We'll let Bryan end on his special new game.
Okay.
So
I guess where I am with Deathloop is, I was saying this to you guys before the podcast, but the goal of Deathloop is to kill 7 visionaries or 8 visionaries, depending on how you count it. I just did I'd say hour and 20-minute playthrough where I started at the start of that day, went through the whole thing, killed 7 visionaries, and died just as I got to the door. I think the final doorway. Basically, Juliana attacked me in the last one and I killed her.
Yeah.
But her radar had jammed the doorway I was meant to go through, and on my way to take out the radar, I died.
That sucks.
Mm-hmm. This is a weird game. I'm going to say I enjoyed it. I did really enjoy it. My feelings on it have like changed pretty drastically from like the last time we talked about it. How are you feeling, Niamh?
Same here. I have fizzled out hard on this. I went from being like, oh my god, I think this might be my favorite arcane game, to being like, I have stopped playing it completely. I'm not into it at all. I kept getting just frustrating runs over and over, and like the stuff we were saying about like I find the characters so interesting, but then the lack of story to pull them into it. Yeah, it's just like, they're interesting conceptually. It's like hearing about a really interesting person and then just meeting a blank NPC to kill. And that's kind of, I found that frustrating. Like a lot of the time I would even kill the final guy in the guy in the mansion with the dog mask by accident, because he's just like, they're all wearing masks.
I've only ever killed him by accident.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like, you've killed him. And I'm like, have I? And it's just like, I don't know. I've just, it's kind of wild to me how I was so up on it. And it just like, it nearly collapsed under its own weight, like of what its promises to me.
So, okay. This is something I really, really wanted to talk about, because coming out of the first, I'd say 3 or 4 hours of that game, I was going into this being like, oh my god, like I wasn't in love with the game. Like I still didn't understand a lot of things about it, but I was kind of coming at it from like a sort of design wise, this is one of the most ambitious games I have ever played in my life. Like the scenario that they've set up and the things I'm going to have to do to make this work are so, like, I use the analogy of like a puzzle box. Mm-hmm. Like it's like this giant puzzle box. That is 100% not this game. And I was kind of shocked, because like I felt like that is the game that it set me up at in the first 4 hours, but I also feel like that's arcane.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's more than one way to bake that cake.
Yeah. And like I think there's a couple of ways to bake individual parts of this cake. But I also kind of realized after a while, like, for all, like, this game's, really interesting premise and concept, it does not mechanically follow through with a lot of that stuff. So, like, it's this thing, you're on an island, resets every day, you have to find a way to kill these 7 visionaries who all appear at different parts of the island on different times of the day. In reality, you are basically selecting stages, following the waypoint of that stage to a particular place, picking up something, killing something, or switching something, and then coming back and then doing that again.
So there are a specific set of instructions that you beat for beat follow.
These might as well just be levels one after the other.
Yeah.
Like
it's just you have to figure out the order. You have to basically put them in order,
Yeah.
And then play it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like there is like a little bit of like creativity here and there, but it's like, how do you want to kill this guy? But
it's more your loadout.
This also kind of like, yeah, it is your loadout, because what it isn't, I felt like, was the situation. Because one thing I kind of enjoyed about early Deathloop is I felt very underpowered. Like I'm bad at shooters. I had to sneak around. I had to be careful. Then I got like, I found some weapons I liked and I put trinkets on them, and like I was like, oh cool, I'm way more powerful now. That was about 5 hours into the game. That was the loadout I went with for the entirety of the game. I never upgraded myself, and a big problem with that is like, I enjoy the combat of this game. I like the fighting in this game. I like what it feels like to take enemies out. I like how the guns feel. You fire like a shotgun or a sniper rifle, and it feels like a fucking cannon firing. Like it's got these massive, big, like bassy sounds, and it just sounds awesome. But those enemies melt in front of you. like I have a pretty decent sniper rifle in the game, and I also have like this and it's like a one-shot rifle, so you have to reload after every shot. But I also have a trinket that lets me reload instantly, like the gun just goes down and comes back up loaded. I one-shot every enemy. Like, if those enemies can't take me down in 10 seconds, I can kill like 8 of them. And I did not have to experiment to like find that setup. I just found it, and I bet there's other setups like that I could find really easily. And because the enemies aren't difficult, I never need to experiment, you know? Like there's all this stuff with Alexis's mansion. Like, I think you can play a specific song on his jukebox that'll make him come out to the dance floor. I think there's something you can do with the cola beneath his... Yeah. I've never done any of it because it's really hard to sneak into that mansion without getting caught. And also, if I just set up some turrets outside, it'll kill everyone, and he will die by accident. So I like this game. Like, I do like it. I like playing it. I like killing people in it. I like using shift. Like, I like all that stuff. This is totally not the game I thought it was. And like, to me, it's gone from like a really interesting, like 5 out of 5 to like a, pretty competent arcade shooter. And that is a bit of a letdown. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm with it, where like, I was so high on this. Oh man, I remember we chatted the day you got it. Yeah, and you were like, "This is fucking awesome!"
You were
like, you were so excited about it.
I was just like, "This could be like one of those like favorite games." Like, I was like, I love Arcane so much, and I love what they bring to the table, and it was all there. But the more I peeled it back, the more simplistic it got, and the more basic it got. And like, then there's all these side missions that I tried to do, and if they weren't frustrating, and I did manage to complete them, the stuff you got out of it was really basic, like more residium, more guns, and it's just like, I have a loadout that I'm just like walking through people.
I am already too
powerful. Like I am like Terminator to these like chumps kind of thing. And it's just like, I kind of like didn't mind that the AI was stupid, because I thought that kind of fed into the like the lore of it and like the resetting the stealth. But when you're like super strong, and which you can do pretty quickly, like you just need to do a few loops, get your residium and stuff, get your guns, like I don't know, it just like started falling apart, and that for me, and then the lack of story on top of it.
I have started getting cutscenes now in the final hour, but it's a bit late, you know.
It's a bit late, and I also like I read where this goes, and I was like, for fuck's sake.
I know the exact bit you're talking about, because I just hit that today.
I know.
And I was like, why? Why there?
John, I found out who wrote this game. It's the same guy who wrote BioShock Infinite. And that is the same ending as BioShock Infinite with Booker and Elizabeth. And you're just like, okay. What is with... I think if you do your fetish once, okay, but if you keep doing your fetish over and over again...
You think he's like, I don't know why everyone doesn't like 12 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
But like, wasn't Elizabeth just so great?
It's just like, maybe at the end of your fucking time loop story, like, and I'm talking about 12 minutes now, but I'm also not, maybe incest isn't a really good story. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's terrible. Maybe
I don't know. Selector Infected Wixus is an incredible anime, Niamh.
Like, it all just fucking started falling apart for me. Like, it all just fell apart, and then I read the ending as well, and I was just like, Jesus fuck, not even the ending is something I'm gonna be hype about, you know?
I really feel like at one point on like the desktops of Arcane, this was one of the most interesting games that ever existed, and at some point everything got pulled right back, because like, even I watched that really good no-clip documentary on Prey, and
it's fantastic.
They sounded very conscious of the fact that the game design of Prey scared off a lot of people. And this really feels like a response to that. And like, I do want to highlight, I enjoyed this game. I did have a good time with it. It just went from like, holy shit, man, like game design and like open world design and your ability to solve your own problems, all that went away in place of, I like how this feels when I shoot things. I like watching the little men ragdoll across the scenery.
Yeah, and like I'm right at the end as well, like where it's just like I just have to fucking kill everyone, and I'm just like so bored with it that I haven't done it. But at this stage, it's like I went from being like the possibility of this is so fascinating to being like, oh, it's this. And like it's like it funneled all the possibilities into one very basic one, and I was just really surprised.
I feel like this game created a moment that is similar to like, you know, Fallout 3 or like one of the old Oblivion games, where you come out of the starting section and you look across this horizon and you just see so many possibilities. It creates like the game design version of that, and then you learn that that vista is all just paper and you have one way to go.
Yeah. It's like none of it matters. Like you can literally run through it if you wanted to.
Is the analogy that like you have a bowl of ice cream and you got 3 scoops of ice cream, you have chocolate chip, you've got like, or like, okay, you got mint chocolate chip, you got like honeycomb, and you've got like pistachio, but by the end it's all just vanilla ice cream?
Kinda. It's kind of like someone like opening the door to an ice cream shop and you're like, oh my god, I can like put anything in this cone. And then they're like, yes, but if you go through that door, just keep going. Just walk through and there might be something
it's like
better
they have
there.
infinite flavors, and then you open them all and they all contain vanilla.
Yeah. And it's just like, oh, so it's kind of like an illusion of openness.
It's all smoke and mirrors.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's really weird for me from like just as an Arcane fan, because it's like, I feel they usually open the shop and let you play around. You know?
They're really into ideas you will never use.
Yeah.
Yeah, because what this game really made me want to do is go play Prey.
Yeah. Prey's fucking hard.
It's such a fucking hard game.
But by the end of Prey, I was just like I felt like I'd earned it, and not only that I had like earned it, it was just kind of like a journey through that world that felt very real, and I felt invested in it. In this, it felt like as fake as the time loop. Like, you know what I mean?
To me, like at the end of this game, I kind of feel like, okay, game, I have ticked your boxes. Please roll the credits so I can go play other games.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to go play Judgment.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh.
Yeah, like, I was just like, I could play Deathloop or I could play more Aliens. Like, and I went with Aliens a lot of the time.
I feel like last episode I was like, you know, people have really turned on this game and it's just weird to see. I get it.
Yeah, same.
I spoke too soon, once again.
But it's like, it's a game that really shows all its best parts and just kind of like, I don't know, like it shows a lot more than what it is by the end of it. And
but do you remember that first cutscene in the house where like, you know, you see yourself and then you get fucking launched out the window and then another version of you saves yourself and then Juliana fucking stabs you to death, and it's just, it's insane and it's amazing and it's like, what the fuck? Like, where's all this gonna go? The answer's nowhere.
I wonder if like they peeled it all back because of the reception to Prey, but also like Microsoft bought them out. Did they have to just like end this production quickly? I probably not, but it's just like
hard to say. I would say probably not given the time frame, but like
I don't know.
I think at some point like a closer was brought in and this game was just pulled back to the bare essentials, because from everything I know about Arcane, this is not how they make games. Yeah.
I feel so weird about this. Like, I felt like this was such a winner for me. Like, one of the best gifts I've been ever given was like the Prey art book, because like that game is so dense with stuff, you know? And like this is a game where it's like I feel like half that book is full and then the other half of it's blank.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel bad for not liking it because I wanted to love it so much, and I got to a point with her where I'm just like, I don't even want to play you anymore.
Do you think you're gonna beat it?
If I beat it, it will be out of a sense of like just to tick off a box. At this stage, I don't even want to. Like I have like No More Heroes 3, which I have no attachment, that Bryan lent me to, that I'm kind of more excited to jump into.
It's a real stupid time.
You want to talk about strong opening 20 minutes?
I'm kind of like that with Eastward. I'm not going to talk about Eastward, but just I hit a point where I don't want to play it anymore.
Yeah.
Do you think you're going to beat it?
I don't want to, but I'm going to have to. But I don't want to.
It's
that feeling.
It's like I feel like I'm going to beat it just to tick it off and maybe even trade in, which I have never done to an Arcane game. I don't even love the Dishonored games like Prey is the ones I really like, but I keep those because I'm always hoping that I'll get to that point where I'm just like go back to them. With this, I'm just done with it. Like I'm just done.
I do have you have the feelings when you're playing a game that you kind of like but you don't love, where it's like, gotta finish my meat and potatoes to get to the dessert.
Yeah.
This is my meat and potatoes. Lost Judgment is my dessert.
Yeah.
Man, fucking wild year for video games.
Yeah.
I got one last video game.
Okay.
I'm going to talk about it. It's Metroid Dread. Okay. My copy of Metroid Dread arrived one day early. It arrived on the 7th of October, 2021. That's a Thursday. Now, have I spoken to you about Fat Boy Friday?
We're very familiar with Fat Boy Friday. Fat Boy Friday, Movie Mondays, half birthdays. I know all the Bryan celebrations.
Yeah. There's Sleepy Boy Saturday as well. That's followed by Fat Boy Friday. Okay, so Friday, the 8th of October 2021 was the launch of Metroid Dread and the Switch OLED. I got both, of course. Switch OLED, it's fine, it's great. I purely bought it because my current Switch is 4.5 years old and it's out of warranty and I don't trust it, and I just thought there was an offer in GameStop to trade in my old Switch for the new Switch, so I did so, and that's that. It has a bigger screen in handheld mode. I showed it to both of you. What did you think?
Very impressed.
Looks like a nice screen.
Yeah. It's an OLED screen. There's a lot of there's extra options for the brightness and whether you want to go with a normal setting or a vivid setting, whatever suits the game in particular. It's very, very attractive in handheld mode. And the battery life is fantastic.
Oh yeah?
It's very good. I'm very impressed with it because
what was the trade-in deal again?
It's like 60 quid for a Switch and 2 games,
I feel like I'd be a fool not to.
The guy in GameStop was really impressed when I traded in my original Switch, and I was like, I actually bought this Switch in the same GameStop 4.5 years ago, and he was like, this is a launch Switch? Why does it look brand new? And I'm like, I'm a very good boy. And he was like, cool.
You also met an LFAB fan.
I did. I met a Let's Fight a Boss fan in Rage, the secondhand game shop. Hello, Corey. You were fantastic. Don't worry.
Metroid Dread.
Fat Boy Friday involves buying all the special ingredients, food, drinks, and toys, either the day before or on Friday morning, with a hard cutoff at 12 noon.
Bryan, I'm sorry.
So wait. If you have not bought your preparations before 12, Fat Boy Friday cannot happen.
At that point, anything you buy and consume has to be from a service.
Just to be clear, Bryan is reading from his phone, okay?
Oh, so you cannot go out. So Fat Boy Friday means that you are so comfortable that you cannot go out.
By the afternoon, you need to be back at home on the couch with the least amount of clothes possible. You're going to be spending 99% of your time on the couch until 3 a.m. Then it is Sleepy Boy Saturday.
Okay, Bryan, which is preferable? I too have days like this, and I am fascinated by them.
We have an email, and we will dissect this further. Don't you worry.
Okay. You know what? Let's just leave it till then.
Okay. At E3 this year, Nintendo's E3, they announced Metroid Dread. I did a very small shit in my pants. Very happy about this. This was a Nintendo DS game that was cancelled.
Leave him be, Niamh.
And it came back, and it's fucking Metroid Dread, developed by Mercury Steam, who did Samus Returns on the 3DS. Very confident in their skills. This game came out. I'm happy to say I'm so relieved. I really enjoyed this game.
Have you finished?
I've 100% completed this game. Like, I'm replaying it in hard mode. Like, I am all in. I'm a freak. Fucking freak. Metroid Dread is very good. I'm very, very happy that I enjoyed it. It continues for Metroid Fusion, which I talked about in the last episode. It's 19 years later. The story is continuing. I thought Samus was an outlaw because she pissed off the Global Galaxy Federation. Apparently that's fine. But what's happened is she's gone to a new planet called ZDR. and the X-Parasite has been documented as being there. And she said, but I destroyed the X-Parasite in Metroid 4. So she's gone to this planet to investigate. Ahead of her were these robotic probes called the Emmy, which are kind of like really fucked up looking robots that would belong in Portal if Portal was a horror game. They're very upsetting, and I don't like the way they move.
Do you know what I love about the way they move? There's no, like, malice in it at all. They are just carrying out a function, and their function is to extract samples from the local wildlife, and all they're doing is that efficiently and quickly.
Yeah,
that's what's so spooky about them.
They pick up Samus and they inject her. Unfortunately, she dies during the injection, but that's just part of the experience.
They're not trying to hurt you.
No, they're just making sure that you're dead. And this is a 2D Metroid game, which it's been a long while since one of these. There's been 3D Metroid games with the Prime series, and there's been pseudo 2.5D with Metroid Other M.
I have an interesting fact about this game. This, like Aria of Sorrow, is a corner scratcher. And the original Metroid was one of the first corner scratchers.
Search action, or exploration action, or exploration maybe.
We just call it corner scratchers.
John calls it that, and I will scratch your corner if you're not careful.
Stop that.
I touched his leg with my foot.
They always play footsie. I have some questions.
Yes.
So I was like, I don't know much about Metroid at all, but I watched the transparency video.
Oh yeah,
so
I watched
now,
this too. It was very good.
Very good video. I'll loot drop it. But like, so now I know a lot more about Metroid. This continues on the story from Fusion.
Yes.
Does it ignore like Other M and those games?
This is Metroid 5.
Okay.
This is the 5th installment of the core 2D franchise.
Wait, aren't they making 4?
Metroid Fusion is
Metroid
4.
Prime 4.
So the Prime series takes place between the first and second game, but they are considered side stories.
Okay.
Despite being the biggest budget games of the series.
They are just meanwhile in the main canon.
Okay.
But in this, Samus is investigating a new planet. She lands on the planet, but it starts you at the very bottom of the planet, which sometimes happens in these games, that you begin the game with your spaceship right in front of you, or else you begin the game deep underground and you have to make your way back up to the spaceship, which is what happens in this. She gets attacked by an unknown entity, and she loses all her abilities except for being able to run, jump, and shoot a very weak beam. And from there you need to rebuild Samus back up to her full capacity while exploring and uncovering the mysteries of the planet. This is a tried and true formula of the Metroid franchise. The best version of this, I think, is probably in Metroid 4, where they had a really logical explanation for her losing all her abilities and having all her powers stripped away from her and having to rebuild it, and they juxtapose it with the SAX chasing her around, and it's just an evil clone of Samus at full capacity.
Do you think at this point Samus wakes up without her powers and is like, for fuck, not... Oh!
So Samus is a solid protagonist in this game, but the bits of personality they have in her seem to kind of imply a bit of that, but a bit of just like, I'm fed up with this shit. I don't want to like have to figure out the situation. I'm just gonna shoot. Gotta blast my fucking arm cannon. It's been a long time since a mainline Metroid game came out, and in that environment, in that world, there's been so many indie games that owe Metroid a drink in terms of game design.
Oh, I would say nearly the entire indie movement for a good 2 years there.
Yes. And so I was very curious to see what a mainline Metroid game is like post Hollow Knight and post Momodora, and I guess Ender Lilies and other series in that genre. Metroid Dread feels like a continuation of 4, but also in terms of Samus's moveset, which by the very end of this game, almost every button on the Switch does something. She gets moves that I recognize from Hollow Knight, which I was really kind of impressed with, that they acknowledged that.
Yeah, what's
she's
the
been kind of
nationality
derived.
of this team?
They're Spanish.
This did not feel like the kind of like Japanese game studio where like they kind of only take influence from previous things in the series.
No, this is a Western game.
Yeah, totally.
And so a particular example of this is Samus now has an upgrade where she has a side dash, and it's a horizontal dash, and it's absolutely the same dash that Hollow Knight has. And that is used for boss battles in which you're not fighting a big giant monster, but rather you're fighting a 5-6 foot enemy that's about the same size as Samus that fights incredibly fast with a weapon. And those fights are super interesting because you don't really see those in the Metroid games. Most of the time you are fighting a big dumb alien monster.
Yeah, you're fighting kaijus.
Yeah, you're fighting kaijus. And so it was super cool that you have these very intimate arena fights that I recognize from other games, but put into the Metroid core franchise. And all of that stuff was handled super well. For the most part, the game flows super organically. There's no waypoints. You do talk to your protocol AI, Adam. In the previous game, Adam told you exactly where to go, but that was part of the narrative, was that you were meant to be following orders, because that's the point of that game, is that at the end of the game you stop following orders. So I know people give out that game is very linear, but that's the theme of the game, is the linearism of it. Whereas this game, every time you unlock a new ability, you go, that reminds me of a place I couldn't reach before, and I'm going to try out this new ability on that area of the map and see if I can continue forward there. So there's a lot of zigzagging, and the way the map flows, like the map is divided into into 5 or 6 different areas that all load between each other via teleporters, but they're just loading screens that take, in my opinion, they take a bit too long. I'm sure they'll patch it to speed it up, but right now they take way too long. But they do a great job of kind of so that you will double back on where you were, but now you have an extra ability or two, and all of a sudden what was originally difficult is just a cakewalk, and that's incredibly satisfying.
A question I have, based on the screenshots I've kind of seen of it, like environmentally, a lot of the backgrounds kind of look similar. Is that like something that switches up, or is it kind of quite similar looking all the way through?
I think it's quite similar looking all the way through.
That's a shame, because I've played like the first hour of this game, and I really like everything so far. The only thing is, like, I feel like Metroid has such a strong legacy of really great environments, and I don't feel that from this game.
No, for the most part the environments overlap enough that you're like, this is the ancient ruins, but other areas have ancient ruins, but they look the same as the ancient ruins in the ancient ruins area. There's like a furnace area that kind of stands out. There's 1 or 2 sections where you're going through a lab and they have a big giant monster in the background being experimented on. Later on you pass through that lab and the big monster isn't there anymore. That was very good.
That's cool.
So there is some environmental storytelling that way. There was one part of this game, and I've noticed other people have hit it as well, where you get to a point and you either know what to do next or you do not have a clue. And it's when Samus gets an ability to space jump, which means that she can do a bunch of extra jumps, and that opens up the game a lot, but it opens it up so much that you're given so many options that unless you pick the right option, you'll lose track of what you were originally seeking out, and you'll get lost in the game. And I got lost, but I used that opportunity to go around and collect new power-ups, because at that point the game really opens up with a lot of the power-ups you couldn't get earlier on in the game, now you suddenly can, which is a good kind of cover-up to kind of fill in the searching. But I did actually just have to look up a spoiler-free guide and read a 1-sentence prompt and go, okay, I know where to go, I don't need to read anymore, thank you very much. But it seems like a lot of people have encountered that particular part of the game is not telegraphed well. Samus still has her counter ability. You press X button when an enemy goes to attack you, but there's a flash of light. If you press X, you can counter the ability and do a shit ton of damage. Those are incredibly crucial for the boss battles, especially the final boss battle, which kind of becomes a QTE at the very end.
They feel really good.
They do, and the last boss battle is tough as fuck. It took me about 20 times, but you very quickly learn the mechanics of that, and like This game gets very hard at the end, but not in a cruel way. You just have to learn the pattern.
And are the saves, like, the saves...
The saves are good.
Okay.
It does do fair checkpointing at certain set pieces where, like, it knows it doesn't want to waste your time because it's already, like, set up a checkpoint, so it'll start at the beginning of that checkpoint rather than you having to enter the room and skip the cutscene for the most part. And the story is good. It's got a bit of a lore dump at the beginning and at the end. Like, the story's fine. It definitely continues from the last game. It has a bunch of kind of like, do you remember this? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Doesn't over rely on it, and
no, it gives you like just enough that you're aware of the central players in this game.
Yeah. I really thought it was gonna, like, this isn't really a spoiler, I guess, but like, I really thought it was gonna introduce like a bunch of Metroids, because like Samus has killed off all the Metroids, and she's killed off all the Metroids twice. So like, they are good and done, and this game acknowledges that they are good and done. Except Samus does have Metroid DNA in her.
Just like Ripley.
Yeah. And so, you know how people don't understand that Samus is called Samus and she's not called Metroid?
Mm-hmm.
Technically, she is a Metroid now, so
yep,
it counts.
you're not wrong.
But that's not necessarily a spoiler because that's from the fourth game. That is canon that she has Metroid DNA. And that's part of her. And it kind of goes into her backstory a bit. But for the most part, it's kind of just more implied. I got the special edition. It came with an art book, and the art book is very good. I'm going to go back and read it now because it had a lot of concept art that I thought might be spoilery. It's super cool.
Yeah, and even just from what I played, like the story of this game, it feels like there's something weird happening.
Oh yeah, there is.
Like it feels like there's a swerve coming somewhere.
There's a midpoint in the game, and you're like, that's great.
Yeah, I have my suspicions, but even like the first thing you encounter, I thought was really cool.
Yeah,
because they're like, oh, it's this thing, and I was like, oh.
But like the game really does need you to understand the lore of the Metroid and the X-Parasite and what a dangerous bioweapon both of those were, and the cause and effects that they had, and who Samus is and who raised her. Like all of those are very important to the story.
Totally, yeah.
Which is kind of interesting as well. Like I guess if you're a long time fan of the franchise, you know, like it doesn't have a vague story, which is good.
Oh yeah, the only thing I'd really add to it is like I'm still very early on. But Brian, you mentioned at the start how like all you can really do is run, jump, and shoot. Like all those things feel good.
They do.
And
she plays super well.
That has me really excited to like build out her moveset and see what else she can do.
I had a bit of grievances with her jump at the beginning. The highest point of her jump doesn't look like she can reach certain cliffs or like grapples.
Yeah, that threw me a couple of times.
But she can, and after a while you get used to that. Also the free aim, that is an incredibly important part of this game that you need to be able to just like point at a specific part of the map to kind of like destroy a block to get up. So like you do need to get used to her free aim. I did really enjoy it. I still think Metroid Fusion will always be my favorite.
I really want to go back and play Super.
Super Metroid's cool, except until it isn't, because when you get to Meridia, which is the underwater area, that part sucks. But other than that, it's a great game. And, also, there are stealth sections with those robot, the Emmy. They're cool. They're only a small part of that game. They're kind of standalone sections, and you know when you're hitting one of those. And
I like them.
They're a lot of fun. They get real fucking tough later on, and there's bits where you have to keep going back and forth between some of the Emmy sections, but you will not be able to defeat them for ages. And that's really stressful, but also super fun.
Yeah, and like they're stealth sections, but they're like parkour stealth.
Oh yeah.
Like you are not moving slowly and carefully. You are moving as fast as you fucking can.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Metroid Dread.
Seemed good. Looking forward to playing more.
I had a real Fat Boy Friday.
Nice. I'm very happy for you, Brian.
Thank you. Okay, Quicktime Events. This is the news section. Hot off the presses, we got this first one. Eidos-Montreal switched to a 4-day work week.
I think this is really great given that we spend so much time talking about crunch in the video game industry. And like when Eidos-Montreal announced this, there was a whole pile of smart asses in the comments being like, does that mean they're working more hours for those 4 days? And they were like, well, if you actually read the press release, no, it doesn't mean that. It just means 4 days. A 4-day work week. And I think that's really great. Good job, Eidos-Montreal.
Keep on normalizing that. That's good.
Yeah. So, some days, like when I overdo it at work and I work too much, I try and work the next day and I'm just shit. I'm just complete garbage, and I feel like the work, the like emphasis that gets put on like crunch, do all your fucking hours, the creativity and the energy you sacrifice for that, like just purely from an output point of view, I think it's so rarely worth it.
Oh my god, there's such a difference between a good hour of work versus 5 bad hours of work.
Yeah, like I think I had one of the worst work days I ever had, I think last Tuesday, and it was after like crunching late the previous night. I think I got maybe like an hour of actual work done over the course of like 9 hours. Mm-hmm.
It'll improve projects, it'll keep staff happy, it's a healthier output. Mm-hmm. Kingdom Hearts comes to Smash.
So my favorite part about all this was like, Bryan, I have never heard you shit talk Kingdom Hearts. It's just not something you care about. It's not something you have any concern.
I don't have the energy for it.
No, but after this, we just got this super shitty message from Bryan, which I just loved, and it just said, at least Sora's in a good game now. It's like so petty.
It's true though.
I think this is fine. I even think this is an appropriate way to end Smash Ultimate, because Smash Ultimate is a ridiculous crossover game, and like it makes sense to me that the final guest is also a ridiculous crossover character.
It probably took a lot of paperwork to get Sora in
Infinite.
Smash. Because he's got Disney on him.
Do you know how many Japanese businessmen had to exchange business cards for this to happen?
Oh yeah.
I think he looks boring. Like, his gameplay looks boring.
He's got really good air recovery, and I like one of his color palettes is a black and white design, and they gave him like Mickey Mouse Steamboat Willie eyes.
Yeah, that looks fun.
But that's from the Steamboat Willie world.
Yeah. But other than that, it's another sword boy, and I know, oh no, it's a key. It's another sword boy.
I guess I just want to reaffirm the fact that I think I'd beat the shit out of Sora.
He did not go to school.
Yeah. He'd be really stupid on top of everything else.
Big fucking clown shoes. Stupid kid. They showed off what Kirby looks like with the Sora hair. Forgettable. There you go. Sakurai really likes Sora. He had posters of him in the trailer.
He's playing all the Kingdom Hearts.
Because they're coming to Switch as well, but as a cloud game, apparently.
Yeah, that's another news item. It's like Kingdom Hearts 1, 2, and 3 are coming to Switch, but as cloud games only, and I think that really sucks. They could absolutely get 1 and 2 on there.
Hey, yeah, come on, like.
Yeah.
I think I might play through the first Kingdom Hearts.
Good luck.
I know, I think...
Why? Why are you doing this?
Okay, years ago, like decades ago, I rented the first Kingdom Hearts and I played it for a weekend. I didn't love it. I thought it was kind of interesting, but it's one of those games where I just want it in my like repertoire.
Knowing you will never finish this game.
Yeah.
Simply because like I played 1, 2, and I've played Dream Drop, I think it was, whatever one was on the PSP, but 1 has really bad level design. Like it just hasn't aged well. Even at the time, the level design was like kind of blur. So even just ignoring like any story convolution or whatever, like some people will argue it's convoluted, other will be like it all makes sense in the end. The level design of 1 is kind of notoriously awful.
That will fuck me up.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just, whatever you want to say about Kingdom Hearts, I just want that base level understanding.
I think then if you want a base level understanding, I think a lot of people like would recommend 2.
But you gotta play the first one, otherwise you won't understand what's going on.
No, I've seen Roxas. Not interested. Just not. Roxas is like, even I don't even know. I just like, okay, listen to my voice when I talk about him.
Then maybe 3 for just how like, I know 3 is super contentious with all the fans, but it's just like the most accessible and most modern.
I have played 3.
Yeah, you have played some of 3.
And
yeah, you love that game.
I didn't like it.
You love that game.
What makes you think you'll get anything out of 1?
Because 1's going to be a weird adventure into the past, man, to a world of what was, not what is.
The early 2000s.
Yeah.
My favorite, but also most depressed period of my life.
Well, there's a lot of Final Fantasy characters in that one, so
that'll do.
You know.
I can remember not knowing what Kingdom Hearts was because I didn't have a PlayStation 2. But I remember picking up the like game case.
What's wrong, Niamh?
In a video game. I had a GameCube, Niamh.
It just makes me sad that someone lived without a PlayStation 2. It's like the best console.
I played it in college. I played the Metal Gear Solid games then.
I remember when you got I can't remember if you got a PlayStation 2 in college or you got a 360, but like
I got a 360.
When you got a 360, it was a real like what the fuck moment because
the Wii was shit.
Yeah, because you were so into Nintendo up until that point.
The Wii was so boring.
I feel like when you look back on the lifespan of the Wii now, the interesting things happened, but yeah.
Year to year, there was like one game.
But then that No More Heroes 1, baby.
Yeah.
If you can get Witcher 3 running on a Switch, you can get Kingdom Hearts 1, 2, and probably 3 running. And it's just kind of, Square didn't bother.
No, of course not.
They just didn't
Why
bother.
would they?
Is Witcher not a cloud game as well?
No, The Witcher 3
it's
is a card. Yeah.
Anyway, I remember seeing the game case for Kingdom Hearts, and it was like the moon, but it was shaped like a love heart. And then I saw the name Kingdom Hearts, and I was like, that's really clever. Whoa, Mickey's there. Cool. And I just got really confused, and I put it down because I was getting scared.
One of my most liked tweets is still, what the fuck is this? And it's just Mickey Mouse in like the cloak thing.
Oh, with the zipper and all. Yeah. Fucking edgelord Mickey. Then our final bit of news, and Niamh, I'm so happy for you. The Shenmue anime trailer dropped.
Are you happy for me?
Because
you're the Shenmue person.
Yeah, aren't you?
I'm getting there. I'm trying. I'm trying super hard.
I've given up.
This trailer was actually really surprising in the sense that it was like really beautifully animated, but it also kind of showed literally all the most hypest bits from the first game.
It was a very good piece of marketing.
Yeah, so I'm kind of confused at what like a Shenmue anime will be. Like, is it just going to be loads of filler? Will he be walking around?
In it that is not in the games. Like there's one bit where you see Ryo in like a karate gi in a tournament. That is not in, that looked like a flashback. I don't know. Look, I'm gonna break the Bosscast kayfabe here for a second. I don't know where I am with Shenmue. I have such complicated feelings about that entire franchise at this point. This looked really cool, but what are we doing?
We're retelling the first game, which is the prequel to Shenmue the story again, but anime form.
I know, but like...
I feel like...
But Shenmue 3 didn't sell well! Like, okay, like, fuck my subjective criticisms on the game. The game sold like dog shit, and crazy Shenmue people, oh my fucking god, crazy Shenmue people have like these Excel documents to explain how Shenmue actually sold well, but the numbers were misreported, and they didn't. It's just everyone who cared bought it on Kickstarter, and everyone else just didn't care because it's not a very good game.
Yeah, that game's always on sale for a $5 for a reason.
And like, I had to, like, you think they're selling boatloads of fucking Shenmue 3 and it's on fucking PSN for like $4.50? No! And I beat that game twice. I beat it twice. It's terrible. It's such a bad game. And like, Yu Suzuki needs to go do something else. He needs to go live in China. Like, he needs to go have that adventure. He needs to, like, go and experience that culture and immerse himself in it and just live out the rest of his days like he's always wanted to. But Shenmue's done! And what, like, Why does this trailer look so good? Like, what's happening?
So who made this? Because, like, it's expensive to make animation, and someone, like, people cared about making this. Like, why is this made now in 2021 after the dust has settled and Shenmue 3 is shit?
I don't know. I think like the name of Shenmue carries so much weight because like it's been let's played by a lot of different people. Like I think like it'll like a lot of people out of curiosity would watch an anime rather than go back and play the first Shenmue.
For sure.
You know?
And people really, really miss the Dreamcast and what it could have been, but it wasn't.
Like, I agree, but surely not that many people at this point. Like, do most of the people who really cared about Shenmue 1, are most of them, like, not fucking losers like me who still care about the game? Like, have most of them not just move on and had families, and if you said Shenmue to them, they'll be like, oh yeah, that was great, but they'll never play it again?
I think there's a lot of diehard fans, and there's a lot of freaky diehard fans who force their friends into playing the entire series. So much so, when someone sees Chai pop up in an anime trailer, they're like, oh, Chai!
I know who that is.
Niamh, the great Chai.
The great Chai.
So fucking
great.
Man,
you're gonna love precisely 7 seconds of Shenmue 3.
It's what killed me with that trailer as well. It's clearly just Shenmue 1. Like they wouldn't even bring in Shenmue 2 into like this because like I feel like 22 episodes.
This is 13 episodes.
Okay, 13 episodes. You could tell the story of 1 and 2.
I don't know. I think
everything that happens.
I think if they do this right, by episode 13, Rio will have tracked down the black car.
Oh my god.
2 episodes on the sick cat. But like, I don't know.
I really want to know. I get the feeling that there's some weird Shenmue freak, and he's like a trust fund billionaire, and he's fucking paying the bill for it. Like he's
either
fronting
that or
it.
Yu Suzuki has someone's fucking family.
Like he's kidnapped someone.
I don't understand. I just
who is funding this?
I don't understand.
Here's another question I have.
Who's enthusiastically pumping money?
Voice acting wise, 1, 2, and 3, like, you know, they're not great. Like, do they...
No!
do they continue with that level of voice acting?
One of the truly incredible things about 3 is to me, like, okay, the dude who plays Shenmue, wouldn't change him for the world. Love him.
Rio.
Weird, awkward, stilted. Yeah, his English dub voice, just bizarre. It just flabbergasts me that for 3 they found a voice actress as wooden as he is.
That's what I'm saying. Are they gonna like go and like get voice actors that are bad? If Yu Suzuki
has any say in this game,
then yes.
Let's make it worse.
Now, I remind you, the criteria he hired the dub voice actors on was how much they look like the game characters.
Because voices are important. No.
I don't know. Like, I'm so tired, guys. Like, I don't...
Oh, are you Japanese?
I've heard...
Oh my god, that dude.
Are you...
Hello.
I was once Chinese.
I was Chinese. How can you be... You always will be. What are you now, Mexican? That doesn't make any sense. I can't say
anything specific, but occasionally, rumors from the game industry get back to me, and I don't understand what I'm hearing.
That something is actively continuing.
Is 4 happening?
I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, I do not have enough solid information that I can say that. But all I'm saying is sometimes I hear things and I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
That could just be someone trying to break you.
It could be. I don't know. I'm already broken. I want, like,
I hope at the Game Awards they bring out Yu Suzuki and they announce the Kickstarter for Shenmue 4.
He's got like a printout of your YouTube thumbnail. He tears it in half. And he goes, no, John.
Was I too mean in that video? I don't know.
He wants you to be mean. And he's like, can't wait to see your Shenmue 4 video.
I feel really like fraught and emotional over Shenmue. I don't know.
You love that shit.
I do.
You love that little guy.
I love Rio.
You hate him too.
But it was a terrible fucking game!
The first one? The second one?
Obviously not the first or the second one.
I'm not enjoying the second one.
Bryan, you are.
Not.
Bryan, I think we're all having a great time playing.
I think...
Bryan, I have video evidence of you just having a wonderful time with the second game.
No, you have video evidence of me, like, sticking to my guns and agreeing to a loser's bet.
Okay.
Because I'm a man of my word.
You're not a man of your word. That was meant to go up several days in advance. You posted
I was playing Metroid Dread.
Don't give a shit. You're not a man of your word.
I was enjoying Metroid Dread.
No, Bryan, you broke your promise to me, and a second forfeit is incoming.
Oh my... I'm hosting this shit.
This wasn't a part of the forfeit.
Oh my god.
Bryan, this Shenmue 2 Let's Play, it's going to end, right? The credits are going to roll, and a little tear is going to slide down your face.
Yeah, because I don't have to play Shenmue anymore.
And you're going to look at me, and you're going to be like... I get it.
We really have to go back to that Let's Play.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Are we at episodes?
No, we got one more. We got episode 7 coming out.
Chamber.
But then after that, we need to make more.
Okay, we'll talk about that.
Yeah. Everyone who's anticipating episode 7 of the Shenmue 2 Let's Play, you're in for a real wet fart of a treat. Emails. I'm not doing it anymore, John. I can't do this. John, if you want to send us an email, talk.
Yeah, you just talk out loud and the wind will carry your voice to us eventually.
Say something about the email address.
It is askletsfightaboss@gmail.com.
Thanks, Niamh. What's that, John?
That's askletsfightaboss@gmail.com.
Give us your best ass question. Okay. I got one, and I was hinting at it earlier on. This is from Liam.
Hey, Liam.
The quintessential Fat Boy Friday games.
Oh.
So I was talking about this earlier on during the Metroid Dread talk. Hopefully that was clear enough. Sorry about the audio again. Hello, Burby, Jerby, and Nerby.
That's pretty good.
I was recently made aware of the glorious event that is Fat Boy Friday, and my life hasn't been the same since. I know the release of Metroid Dread will mark a very special Fat Boy Friday, but I wanted to know which other games have gotten this treatment.
Oh, this is a great question.
So has there been a game that upon release you were anticipating and you put time aside for and made sure that you had special treats and free time scheduled for?
There was one time where my parents went away on a holiday, and my parents started going on holiday when I was like 15 and like leaving me at home by myself, and I liked that a lot.
That's so fucking sweet.
Yeah, it was cool. I had a bunch of friends over once, but then one of them in my bathroom, and I didn't know what to do.
Oh no.
Yeah.
That's not a fun time.
No, yeah. But on one of these, I brought my PlayStation down to the big television downstairs in my sitting room, and it was the release of... I saved up a bunch of money, and I bought... I think it was... Final Fantasy X and Virtua Fighter 4 Evolution. And that was my 7 days. It was a Fat Boy week, and my little cat sat on the couch beside me, and sometimes I'd look at her and be like, "That's mad, isn't it, kitty?" And she wouldn't say anything because she's a cat, but like, it was great.
Did you have any special food?
Oh yeah, a lot of microwave, a lot of bowls of microwave popcorn, a lot of cola.
Oh yeah,
some Haribo. It was class.
It's very important to have cola. And what cola do I drink, John?
Pepsi Max.
And why?
Maximum taste, zero sugar.
But why specifically is
sugar tax makes it cheaper?
Sugar tax makes it cheaper. I switched to Coke Zero a while ago, and Bryan was like, "Why are you drinking that?" And I was like, "Oh, it's got no calories." He was like, "That's stupid." And then I checked Pepsi Max, and I was like, "This has no calories either, you fucking idiot."
Yeah, but it's got maximum taste, no sugar. I also got peanut M&Ms, fucking brilliant, and I got rancheros.
Oh, that's real good. Yeah. That's a great combo.
For any American listening who doesn't know what a ranchero is, you're fucked.
Sucks to be you.
Yeah. Niamh, Fat Boy
I do
Friday.
it every time a Resident Evil game gets released. I take a long weekend. I either take a Monday or a Friday off work and just make it a long weekend kind of thing.
Veg out on the couch.
Yeah, I've kind of stopped doing it because every time I do it, like NiamhCon 2020 with the release of
The Last of Us 2.
The Last of Us 2, the game came late and then it was just an awful time. And then the other time I did like a Niamh day kind of thing. My friend nearly got hit by a car and it was just like not a great day. So it's just like just generally I've decided to stop naming things after myself because it kind of they end up being not fantastic.
Oh, Niamh, we'll have a NiamhCon day for you. We'll make it go alright.
Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna get set on fire.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun.
Have you been cursed?
I feel like I've been cursed. I feel like every time I kind of like be like, okay, I'm gonna have a nice time with a game. The game always arrives late or something. Like
that
a
happened
day
with Resi
late.
7 as well.
Yeah,
didn't it?
and you get me your copy of Resident Evil 8 this time because like I was like a day late with it or something.
I felt so bad about that because like it arrived and I was like, well, I barely care about this.
No, Niamh is the one of our party that was really looking forward to this.
Yeah.
But I did take a day off for like Resident Evil 8 and that's what I always do.
But you even got you still got it like that evening, and that's too late.
Yeah.
That's too late.
Yeah.
Like for a Fat Boy Friday, that's not on. Because what did you do for the rest of the day?
I know, and I was moping around, and like my girlfriend was just like, "I'm sorry, do you want to play a different game?" I'm like I could, but like you're in the mindset to play that game.
No, I get it. I totally get that.
So I was like debating, and I was just like, maybe I'll just like buy it digitally and then like trade in the physical copy when it arrives, kind of thing. And like Rebecca's just like, no, don't do that. That's stupid. And then I'm just like, okay.
I 100% would have done that. And
guess
she's
we'll
right.
just-
It is stupid.
Yeah.
it
So
is.
I just like walked around the house like a dickhead and just stood in different rooms and ate crisps standing up.
Do you ever
and
notice
feeling
that
bad
when,
for
like,
myself.
when you're really excited about a new game coming out, no other game cuts it?
Yeah.
Oh, it's so weird.
I was so not enjoying Eastward the day before Metroid Dread came out.
Well, I think that might have more to do with Eastward than Metroid Dread, unfortunately.
Oh yeah, that didn't help either.
Yeah.
Halo Infinite, is that the next one?
Yeah, I'm really excited for Halo Infinite, but I'm just gonna pretend. It's like reverse psychology where I'm gonna be like, I'm not actually excited, and it'll be whatever it is. You know what I mean? Kind of thing.
I feel like I have to lay down some law here. Mm-hmm. I am not playing Halo Infinite with you until we beat the weird divorce game.
Okay. We'll go back to
Hey,
It Takes Two. Yeah.
The new Kirby game, I'm looking forward to that next year. I'm hoping that's a Fat Boy Friday. Are there any upcoming games, John, that you have scheduled your body around?
Not really. Like, No More Heroes 3 was the closest thing, but I don't think I should have scheduled a Fat Boy Friday for that. That was ridiculous.
It was.
Yeah. I don't think I really have any Fat Boy Friday games coming up, but let me mull that over and I'll get back to you.
I think actually Voice of Cards, Bryan. I pre-ordered it after playing the demo.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, very excited about that.
Deltarune Chapter 2.
Yeah.
I'm going to play that over Christmas. I'm going to set up in my parents' spare room. I don't live in my parents' house if you're listening to this for the first time.
Also, John has a special chair in his parents' house as well that he sits.
That thing's fucked.
Just choose it.
and like, you'll go home and your dad's already brought it into the room, has he?
Mm-hmm. Well, no, he's old now, so I have to carry it up the stairs. It's like a lazy boy kind of thing. Well, it's like a fancy lazy boy, and yeah, I carry it up the stairs and I put it in the room, and then I sit in it for 7 days, and then I go home to Michelle. But yeah, no.
Deltarune Chapter 2.
At some point, I'm gonna, Bryan, it's probably gonna be a big bowl of peanut M&Ms, and maybe some flips, some gummies, some crisps, and I'm just gonna sit there for 3 hours and
just
play
shoveling
Deltarune.
into your fat fucking face.
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell my parents, I don't care if Cousin Patrick is here. Oh, I love my Cousin Patrick. He's such a lovely guy. He's like me, but like really built, and he's met ghosts and stuff. He's cool.
But Deltarune
Chapter 2. Maybe I'll play Chapter 1 as well. Like, I don't remember what happened in that fucking game.
I did try to replay it and I was like, I don't know. I don't know. It's a bunch of little guys figuring themselves out.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll replay that.
Okay, then I got one more.
Okay.
This one is from Loveless. Sad boy Loveless.
I think we've gotten emails from Loveless before.
I think we have too.
Yeah.
No, I've not read this email out. Okay. Some stupid questions. Hey, every question's a stupid question.
Every question's a stupid question.
You know how people say there's no such thing as a stupid question? It's the other way around. Yeah. Every question is fucking stupid.
Yeah. Why'd you ask it?
Okay. Hello, Josh, Ryan, Niamh. But then we also have different names here.
Okay.
Okay, Niamh, I'm going to go with you first. So,
okay.
Knee.
Thanks.
And it's the body part, the knee. Okay. If you can pick any developer to make a new Tomb Raider game, who would you choose and why is it Quantic Dream?
Part of me would like it to be Quantic Dream just so I could I could feed off that rage for so long.
You would also get to have quicktime sex with Lara Croft.
Of course, and she would be wearing her patent
and
white underwear.
I want to be clear. This all takes place from first person with Lara Croft in front of you. David Cage has very, I want to say, sinuous design decisions for this scene. Okay?
At one point during the voice acting, you can hear another voice in the background, and it sounds like a creepy Frenchman, like breathing heavily from someone over someone's shoulder.
No.
At some point, you look up, and David Cage is standing there, and he just goes, "Shh."
Please continue. I feel like there's just like a hand hovering over a boob and you have to press box to like,
you gotta slap it on.
But if you mistime it, your hand kind of just drifts off into the air and you just hear
There's a bit where you have to get Lara to walk up the stairs of Croft Manor. It takes 45 minutes because it's every individual step, and you're like, why am I using the D-pad and the shoulder buttons? It's that bit where
you have to hold them all down
like a claw.
If I had to pick anyone, oh god, I would have said Arcane. They're in my little shit book right now.
Would you From Software do it?
No.
Poor
That
Laura.
would be so punishing.
I know.
I would actually go Capcom with the Ori engine and stuff because
that's a
think
good
they
one.
have.
Yeah.
I think they have a good balance of action, horror, and comedy. And I think the big problem with the new Tomb Raider games is they're lacking levity and they're lacking character.
I really liked what we played, but yeah, a little dry.
Yeah, I think there is a lot of room for that to be maybe funny and be interesting, and I think Capcom could probably bring that to those games.
Okay, this next one, I'll take the one from my name, which is Bryan. If you can pick any developer outside of Nintendo to make a Kirby game, who would you choose and why is it Quantic Dream? Who would
you like over Kirby's boob and then you have to press pop.
Kirby's just a big boob. He's just a titty. Who would I get to develop a Kirby game? Who makes fun platformers in the West?
Does it have to be a platformer?
That's true.
Capcom.
I mean,
Double Fine?
Double Fine would do a good Kirby game. They would do a cool kind of, adventure game with platforming elements. Like, let's mishmash Psychonauts and let's get some fun games in there, like Stacking. That's a Double Fine game.
Oh, I haven't thought of it. Stack. That game is cool.
Yeah, it's a cool game. I think it's stuck on the 360 and the PS3.
That sucks.
Also, you could probably play it on the current.
That was a beautiful game.
It's a great game.
It had nothing to animate.
Yeah, it didn't. I think Double Fine with the Kirby franchise would really go fucking nuts. I think visually they would go stop motion looking again. I think they would push it in that department. I think they would understand the source material, but they would add something to it. So yeah, absolutely Double Fine. Tim Schafer and the team would do a great job. Then John. You have to pronounce it correctly. If you can pick any developer to make a fighting game out of either Yu Yu Hakusho or JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, which series would you choose? And why would Quantic Dream be perfect for the job?
Oh man, I mean, like, that's a tough one because, like, are
Arc System works.
The most ideal version of a JoJo fighting game, I feel like, exists in that JoJo Dreamcast fighting game. Like, that shares a bunch of DNA. Like, it's a really janky fighting game in some ways. It's also kind of amazing in a lot of ways because it shares a lot of DNA with the staff who made Third Strike. So, on the merit of that, I kind of find it hard to choose JoJo just because, like, while Yu Yu Hakusho does have a lot of games, and it does have a PS2 fighting game, which I once bought at a Tesco at 2 a.m. in the morning for £6 or €6. That's a fucking terrible game.
Yeah.
I think I might have bought that with you, Bryan.
Yeah, I was there.
Oh my god. So I guess Yu Yu Hakusho, and in terms of the developer,
Arc System.
I feel like Arc System is like the easy option, but
Okay, how about like Ganbarian?
who?
Exactly.
But like with ArcSys, like I think ArcSys do really well with like really elaborate, weird, crazy designs. I think a lot of the characters in Yu Yu Hakusho, they have very simple character designs, and I wonder. I think it would nearly be kind of fun to see like a NetherRealm take a shot at a Yu Yu Hakusho fighting game. Like, what the fuck does that look like?
They do the Mortal Kombat games?
Because you could have some really fun fatalities.
Yeah. And they do effects animation super well. Like, think of like Hiei's summons.
Exactly, yeah, because Yu Yu Hakusho, like, a lot of those big moves are really, like, Jesus Christ, can you imagine Elder Togoro's fatalities and what they'd look like?
That's a good answer.
Thank you.
And then, just at the very end, P.S. I know this is a bit of a random question, comes out of nowhere. How do you all feel about Quantic Dream? My opinions of Quantic Dream are, I don't enjoy playing their games. I'm always happy to see what they're making.
Kind of similar. I'll always get them because I'm always entertained by them, but I've never played one and went, this is good. I've always played them and went, oh my god. But I'm energized by that. Like, I'm never bored by them, but I'm always disappointed and shocked.
Yeah, similar, honestly. You know, there is a part of me that really respects like the vision and the commitment to a thing that, you know, not a lot of other studios are trying. When this question was kind of coming to me, I thought it was going to be about Silent Hill, and boy, would I kill for a Quantic Dream Silent Hill game. If for no other reason than that would be so much fun to do a video on. Like, just peeling back the layers of that game and trying to understand why it is that I'm salivating. That would be like, I don't hate them at all. I will buy whatever Quantic Dream do next. I guess that makes me a fan, but I also think they're very poor at telling stories. And you know, the whole toxic workplace thing, not great. They sued that French newspaper and won,
but then lost another one.
Yeah.
Great. Quantic Dream, everyone. How about we do one more? Okay, this one is from Marcus. Elfab, choose each other's mount DLC.
Mount?
Okay, doing some battles, exploring the world. What mount would you each of y'all pick for yourself and each other?
Bryan's would be a hedgehog.
Yeah. A giant hedgehog with a very carefully made saddle.
Oh yeah, I don't want to hurt my bottom.
For Niamh, I would pick a very long, very awkward looking dog that could also look kind of graceful, but like very long. Like, there are several meters between its front legs and its back legs, but it's not that wide.
For John, another John.
That's what I was gonna say.
He summons a lookalike, and
that's so weird. That's exactly what I was gonna say.
And the John looks at the original John and goes, wait, which one's the real John? And the first John goes, nah. And the other John goes, okay, fine. But then like halfway along the journey, they switch places, and then at the end, one of the Johns kills the other John. And you don't know which one was which.
That's how it works.
Anyway, that was from, and this is great, Big Love, Jabroni Kenshin, aka Young Miami Boy, Rottweiler and Chain Link Fence Noises.wav. Y'all do your best impression. I can visualize exactly what that is.
Yeah, I heard that name.
I am familiar with Who Let the Dogs Out, and I believe that sound sample is in the beginning of that song. Yes. Thank you, dude. That was a bunch of words that happened.
That was a journey.
Those are some emails. Fuck them. Anyway, Patreon shoutouts. This is the best part of the podcast.
The best part of the podcast.
Thank you so much for giving us your money.
Yeah, we really appreciate it.
And that's all we got to say. No, we gotta do some Patreon shoutouts. I put our names beside some of them. Niamh, I got your name beside one of them there.
Yep. Mine is from Narrow Ebb, and it says, "Thanks, James, for always putting me onto great new content."
No problem, Niamh.
John, you got this next one? Sorry, James.
This is from Nameless Jodio. Holy shit, I've been doing the name. No. Okay.
No.
Always nice to listen to and subject my unsuspecting friends to the podcast in the middle of the Dark Prince redemption arc.
Well timed. Mm-hmm. And then I got one from Ellie Mae. From Liz to my partner Meg. I am so proud of you and all the progress you made this year. With all my love, happy 9 years and many more.
Aw, Liz and Meg. That's super cute.
I was so happy to read that one out.
And you let them skip the queue.
Hey, they asked nicely, and you get this. You get it one time.
Okay.
You get it one time.
And
Meg
if your
and Liz.
love is that beautiful, then hey.
Yeah.
Who are we to fight it?
Meg and Liz get it. Congratulations. Infinite years.
Infinite years, I say.
I know I was being mean about everything. I'm actually not. Got all sappy. Everyone's amazing. Everyone's beautiful. Especially the patrons.
Thank you, patrons, for making our podcast as
financially viable.
Yeah, financially viable.
Yeah, seriously. Every week, Bryan sends me the money, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
we're playing Shenmue 2, apparently.
Okay.
We have managed to be ad-free since we've done the podcast, and it's because of your generous donations.
Ad-free since 93.
Mm-hmm.
That's how long we've been doing this, apparently. Loot drop. Did I do that right? Do I have to kind of go like...
I felt like maybe a little more emphatic.
Loot drop.
Okay, I was more sultry, but I liked it.
Loot drop.
I was more sultry even again.
Niamh, you want to try?
Loot drop.
Johnny, you want to try?
What's with all these sexy loot drop reads?
Oh, loot drop. That was kind of like a little release at the end. I'm feeling a lot better now. John, why are you wincing?
No reason.
We got some stuff. We scoured the internet for some real fucked up shit for you all. You gotta click this link. You're gonna fucking regret it.
Real sick shit. Anyway, mine is the Transparency channel. Again, they did a really, really good Metroid video, and I was asking Bryan some Metroid questions, and he answered my questions pretty good, but this video laid it all out.
I learned
so much about Metroid, and I had no idea about the levels of lore and where that lore is sometimes pulled from. Is it's guides, it's comics, it's all these things. Is it real? Is it not real?
I own one of the Japanese guidebooks over there that fills in a lot of gaps that the West never knew about.
Who knew? Has she gay dinosaur dads? I think so. But this was a really, really great and interesting video. So thanks, Transparency. And yeah, go check it out.
I got one here from a channel that Bryan recently put me onto called, I think it's pronounced Izzy ZZZ.
I think so.
I heard her say it out loud once and I was like, oh, really?
Is it to me, it was Izzy's, but yeah, no, there's Izzy ZZZ.
Yeah.
A very funny clown.
A super cool jester lady who is basically like one of my favorite subgenres of YouTube channel, internet archaeologist.
Weird stuff that happened on Tumblr in the 2010s.
Yeah, and like I think with a lot of like internet archaeology, they will kind of focus on like big dramatic like, you know, drama shit or really fucking crazy shit. But with Izzy, what I think is cool with her is she will pick like very small little pockets of Tumblr or just whatever and just explore them very thoroughly. And it's really interesting. Like one of the videos I'm recommending is on Cole Sprouse's Tumblr. And as you all know, I am a big fan of Riverdale. And wow, Cole Sprouse sure seems like the right person to be playing Jughead. Another one of our videos is a deep dive into Mordecai, which is the infamous ship between Twilight Sparkle and Mordecai.
Yeah, from the Cartoon Network show, regular show.
Yeah.
Yes,
And,
the Blue Jay.
Just as a little bonus one, I watched this yesterday, and it was just one of the best video essays I've seen in a long time. Atrocity Guide's video on the Russian animators.
Yes.
What are they?
He made Hedgehog in the Fog. Yuri Norenstein.
Yeah. Just a fantastic video. Those animations are so beautiful. Just great stuff altogether.
I have a YouTuber called Roshi, who's also Russian, and it's a video about Aphex Twin, and it is just the history of Aphex Twin. This video is in Russian. I do not speak Russian. Fortunately, the video has subtitles on YouTube, so you can just enable captions. But it's the kind of thing where it's like, you know, when you watch enough YouTube, you don't even need to speak the same language, because sometimes the visuals are so strong and you're so familiar with the history anyway. It's just nice to see it all laid out in front of you. It's just a great video about Aphex Twin.
Sure. Whew.
I'm not proud of this episode.
Why?
I'm ashamed.
I think you did a super job, Brian.
Yeah. Can we call it Fat Boy Friday?
Yeah.
We can totally call it. Or 150 Spectacular.
No, Fat Boy Friday.
Fat Boy Friday.
Thank you, everyone. Okay, I'll just stop.